welcome to the 176th episode, and we have a special guest. Just one. I don't know. What's your name today? Are you the? You're not the Macho Man. Oh yeah, you are Macho Man.
That's right.
I saw
Macho Man. Hey, it's steak week. The cream's risen to the top, just like the Macho Man said. And we're getting this party started for state. Let's go.
Oh boy, this is going to be a good one. So, we are ready. We're going to talk about a little bit of semi-state recaps and then state preview. And hopefully we're planning on trying to get through all the brackets. If we don't, we'll go another night. It's a busy week. State week. New base, Top Series 1 comes out, and my son, I guess, wants baseball cards. So, hopefully we can sneak some baseball cards in this week. So, yeah, lots going on. There's lots of stuff going on in the underground, but we'll let that stuff simmer and go to the top, and we won't release that stuff.
Yeah, so pretty hot rumor mill. It's a hot week of state, man.
Yeah, there's some good rumors going out there, and it's it was quite an interesting semi-state weekend. So
I got one thing.
Hey, Joe, do you have like a 10-second mute button just in case, we get going and stuff starts slipping or anything? Or?
I don't know. I have not tried one of those yet.
We got to take
a 900 call-in number where they can pay to get some dicey gossip from the IndianaMat guys.
Yes.
Oh, Mike Tenay, like back in the day on WCW.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. The Mean Gene call-in line.
I got some breaking news. I didn't even know. I just got it like right now. I won the four-way semi-state pick'ems. Let's go.
Hey!
I got Caleb Spires in here. I didn't even know, man. Joe literally told me, he's like, you won. I was like, I got it on my thing now, the pick'ems champ in Fort Wayne.
Yeah. We won't discuss my pick'ems. I'm gonna peak for state. I I feel like I'm kind of like Penn State. Big Tens really don't matter. It's it's all about nationals. So I'll get my pick'ems back where they need to be.
Man, do you feel like that? I mean, you have a lot of ground to make up, man. I'm looking at this overall. You're just trying to win state. Or you're trying to win the whole thing.
No, I just
to
go
be
for
the
state.
Overall champion. It's really tough.
Yeah. That's. I'm not consistent enough. I know it's like. I don't know. I don't know if I overthink or sometimes I overthink and sometimes I underthink. Like just go with the ones that should win. Heck, you did your semi-state rankings. They were 23rd, so I should have just gone with that one.
If you just went off of straight semi-state, and I literally just said, hey man, if there's one that's not ranked, I'm flipping a coin.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of semi-state ranked guys, and it ended up 23rd, so not bad.
Yeah. Hey Barton, can you guys Can you tell me the right spelling of Chicoine's name, because the state brackets don't look like they're right, and that makes me feel weird if I'm then doing it all.
Measuring some stuff out, getting trophy going.
Yeah,
I thought Triple B just pull out a tape measure. He's getting the trophy going there.
You got what's your trophy for? You got a trophy?
The Titanic in the background. Is that really the Titanic, or is that like the?
That's the real 9,000 something piece Titanic. Little B put that together 2 or 3 years ago.
Pretty cool.
Can I fish in the Ohio River? Can they fish in the Ohio River, Dustin?
I mean, if you want to. I don't know if you'd eat anything out of that, but yeah.
That's how they feel about the little Calumet. So everyone got to cross over. They get to see this huge barge where it's like all the chemicals from BP, and there's a big thing that says "Don't dredge or drop anchor here."
Nice.
I got to see Brandon Barton this weekend, man.
Yes. Okay, so I have it spelled right.
Hey,
yeah. Good.
Hey, the biggest news of the night is I made my radio debut with Dane and Rex.
Did you? They took my spot.
Oh wow! You got bumped.
Oh man.
Right.
I got
of the
bumped
South, man.
Not Triple B. Like, oh man, he was just trying to be nice. I gave him a late answer.
Someday they'll appreciate how famous I am. I'm doing radio call-ins now. It's not just guerrilla radio. I've expanded.
You've expanded to Adams County.
That's right.
You've infiltrated Adams County.
Someday
I'm going to drive to the Eagle just for the show, take a day off work, and just go.
Bro, I keep saying
on the bucket list.
I keep telling them I'm coming up there that they make the food sound good. The one time we went, it was like the one time I went, it was like in the clubhouse. Like it wasn't even in the building. It was like in the banquet hall.
Yeah.
And they didn't serve any food.
Yeah. That was now that their food's good. It's good. It's solid bar food. I mean, anything you want fried, it's good. Joe Butler, you can see the pick'em results on our info center. Freaking go to that thing, please.
And you can download the world famous brackets. I tried to download them today, found out I was out of ink. So I'm gonna do this straight off of the shit. Yeah, I had a couple weights, but I mean, I probably could grab them. We might not get through all of these.
Yeah. So we got the brackets out, got everything out. Last night, if you guys heard any wrong grades by Coach Gable, that was my fault. So don't yell at him because my brackets I printed out, I didn't pull in the right grades. So he kept saying, I'm like, no, don't say the grades, please, because I know those are off. Some of them are decent, So show went well.
They were trying to put they wanted to put our show up on the big screen at RWA and How last week. So
yeah,
I think we got some listeners at How tonight. So shout out to those guys put on the grind.
Nice. Our guy How and Morrison.
Bobby Joe, John Morrison, yeah.
Nice.
Bobby Joe hooked it up this weekend, man. Got me in the hospitality room, got me a free T-shirt, got me paid. I got on the mic for a little bit. It was a good time. It was hot in there, man. It was so hot. I was wearing the IndianaMat Belichick hoodie. Like about halfway through, I was like, I can't even take this thing off. I'm gonna sweat through. I had a shirt sweat through on the bottom here.
Yeah. It was cold. It was cold at the Coliseum.
So you'll need it this weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold because they have ice underneath, just like Fort Wayne, right?
Yeah, Mrs. Triple B was like, "Why is it so cold in here?" I'm like, "Because they're literally wrestling on ice. Like underneath the black rubber there is ice."
Yes.
And I thought about buying. I seen Parrish posted like a tenner selling their hoodies, man, and they look pretty good. I was like, maybe I'll wear one of those. Those guys do a good job, represent for the South.
Yeah.
So, what? Anything exciting you want to touch on at the center at the East Chicago semi-state before we
East Chicago?
Region turtleneck.
Yeah, it was a
Nice.
little chippy. I'm gonna tell you, it was a little chippy there. There's some chippiness on the mats. Not too many upsets. I mean, a lot of good matches. The finals were really good. Broadbender and Pellet, I think, is getting overshadowed a little bit. That was a really good match. I think Pellet got a takedown with like 2 seconds left to win. Paul Clark, Brady Beck, pretty good. I mean, some people felt like it could have won either way. Pretty chippy overall. But I mean, overall, just a good day. The guy on the mic did a good job. I thought I did pretty good. I was on the mic half the time, so found out we've been pronouncing Tegan Newell's name wrong the whole year.
Tyjon
Newell. I didn't even maybe they switched it out, man. I know he's been wrestling real good the last couple weeks. Tyjon Newell, man, who knows? But I mean, it's a good time. I think being down on the floor is a lot cooler. They did a good job with it. I don't think there was like too many complaints. I mean, you're always gonna have complaints about different things, but it was good. I mean, a couple tick around matches were really good. I mean, a couple ones, you thought were gonna be good, ended up not being as good. But Logansport, shout out to Logansport Regional, went over the 7.5. We'd be paying out if we were actually doing gambling. I usually put it about 7.5. They went 8.
That's not bad. Hey, did you see Richmond had 4?
I did see that.
That was not.
I don't think EC wasn't as bad as I thought it was, split wise. Crown Point had the Crown Point Regional, not just Crown Point High School. They dominated. Crown Point killed it. Reading the team scores, I felt like was redundant.
Yeah.
They're like, get us a team score read, and I'm like, second place, 86, and leading the tournament with 248.
Yeah.
like it wasn't a tight race.
Yeah.
They're rolling, man. They look good. They're taking 12, which ties the record, right?
Yes, ties the record from second year in a row because 12 is the record officially set by Center Grove. So do they actually sell Christmas cards in the region, or because it doesn't seem like there's probably many sent out.
They don't. I mean, I get a couple, but it's not from anybody in the wrestling community. Yeah, like I felt like. I mean, I don't know. You guys are at different semi-states. Is it real chippy between all the teams? That the teams not like each other down there? I mean, I guess I think Avon and Brownsburg, but now they kind of combined, right? Now they're together.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see that like a whole lot at all. There wasn't a ton of chippiness at all down there. So, no, sounds like you guys saw the action up there. I heard the action in Evansville was in the locker room, so I don't know though. That's the reason. But,
that's what I heard too. I heard that also, man. So the 10-second delay, we're not gonna. But it seemed like you got pretty chippy at Newcastle. I talked to some of those guys too.
Yeah, it looked like.
I mean, I don't know if that's something we want to touch on or not, but I mean, it's pretty much you can find it on the internet. It's all over. I mean, the internet is forever.
People know where to find that stuff, and it sounds like there might be some consequences. I don't know. I guess we'll find out Friday and see who's there, who shows up in the corners, who shows up on the mats. Check the brackets, see if any changes happen.
I don't know, man. And I think this is like one of those things. I see someone posting like you never wrestled for dude, I went to a pretty rough high school. I mean, Joe, you've been there.
Yeah.
Would you say like it's nice? It's not the nicest area. It's in Gary. I think our median income's like 24,000. Like in the community, it's pretty tough. I think I have a pretty good idea of how that lifestyle goes. I mean, I don't know much about Warren Central overall, but I know that like Jim Watkins would have choked me if that was me. Like I wouldn't even have a chance to say anything because he would have choked me. And like he still have his job today because that's what they expect of him. I think that was crazy, but I think there's a lot of heat there. I mean, I know a couple years back, what was it? The older Thrine, Warren Central, and
Brevin.
There's like a slam, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought Newcastle Warren Central would be the rivalry?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a little crazy, and you know, it's interesting, especially when you come from like when I go to Fort Wayne, you go to Dustin goes up to Evansville, and everything's pretty much the parents and fans are separated. So, but at Newcastle and I guess East Chicago, the fans are in the upper deck, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Newcastle, they're right on the mat. So I mean, they're right next to the mat. I mean, you could literally throw somebody into their mom's lap in Newcastle because they're right there. I mean, they don't have. I mean, those mats. It fits 4 mats, and that's all. And so, you could definitely. I mean, people were right on top of the mat, which doesn't help things. If the parents and stuff were 25 feet away, a lot less is going to happen. But people are chirping.
Justin Plank was torn, man. He said he didn't know what side to jump. He was punching Newcastle guys and Warren Central guys. That's a true story. Tony just posted in there. We had a kid. He was a runner-up at regional. He got into a fist fight probably the Wednesday before semi-state. Got into a fight in the locker room over like the dumbest thing. It was like it's literally top 5 dumbest things I've ever seen anyone get into a fight over. Still to this day, and I'm 41 years old. And he knocked the guy out, left him there in the locker room. They found out who it was, and Watkins like, why didn't you guys come tell us? And Tony had broke his collarbone at the conference. And Tony walks in, and Watkins is like, you should have told me. And Tony said, what was I supposed to know? And he punched him like dead in his collarbone where it was broken. And Tony said, hey, what the F? And Watkins is like, and he got real mad for a second. He's like, I'm sorry, you have a broken collarbone.
So,
it's not. He's not wrong. Hey, so it depends who you're talking to. If I'm talking to you guys, it's Gary. If I'm talking to Paul, it's the township, bro. Like if you come up and tell me you're from anywhere south of like 35th, there's a good chance that you're in Gary, and I'm gonna tell you I'm from the township. If you're north of Ridge Road, I'm like, we're from Gary, bro.
Because no one knows, no one outside of the region knows what the.
If you tell a dude from Gary that you're from Gary and they start asking you what block you're on, and you tell them that you're from 41st Avenue, they're not gonna be real happy. They're like, what part?
Kind of like Madison, right? Right, Dustin?
That's right. You gotta know your downtown and uptown.
Yeah.
That's your separation there in Madison.
Yeah, Falcon Creek. If you're on Victory Bay, or you're on Millennium Crossing, there's a difference.
I mean,
those are some great names. Just Victory Bay and Millennium Crossing. Like, that should be down in Star Wars world. There's a road down in Disney World, I think.
But overall, I mean, I thought that was a crazy thing. I got that text at East Chicago that was happening, and I feel like, man, it's like, and those guys are really good. Like, I don't know, I don't think I'd risk it, right? Like, I mean, Kyrell's gambling with a lot there. Like, not just like a state. Like, he's one of the only guys that could go for 4 medals, right?
Yeah, one of only 2. Him and May.
One of only 2. Yeah, I mean, like, you already did your work, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And he's going to like a really prestigious like college that's probably pretty strict. I think we had a coach that went to the Citadel, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know the whole backstory to it. I'm sure like there's more to it. I'm sure like someone will tell us, but I don't know, man. Like, there's just some things I'm willing to. I think we need to start like a segment like, what are you willing to give up for? You know?
Yes.
Are you willing to like? What are you willing to like stop seeing wrestling for? Like fighting a coach? Probably not. Not in that situation. That's a different situation that happened a couple of weeks ago. I don't get to see my kid. I got kids in high school. Dustin, your kid's about to be in high school. Like, what's the list of things that you'd rather not see your kid wrestle for?
Would you wear a cowboy hat?
Yeah, it was cowboy hat.
If they said you either wear a cowboy hat, and not, if you wear a cowboy hat, you can't watch your son wrestle. Would you take the cowboy hat off?
If they told you couldn't wear that Macho Man shirt in there, and you can see Little B wrestle, would you wear that Macho Man shirt?
No, I'd wear my CM Punk shirt. Is that
Boom. Uno reverse.
I think there's a lot. Like, that needs to be like we got 2 things we're gonna add to the show in the future. I don't know if we're gonna work them in this year. We're gonna start reading these mean emails you send us.
Yes.
I'm gonna make you put your name to
tweets.
it. Yeah, mean tweets. We're gonna put that on there. And like, what would you rather? Would you rather give up whatever to watch your? Hey, right now, like my guy over here, Matt Kelly, said shaved ice. I'm not going to state they didn't have shaved ice. I might say that. I'll still be a state if they don't have shaved ice. And if my kid was wrestling, I could care less about shaved ice.
Yes. Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. We might get to a bracket here by midnight.
Give up, so I'm skipping Little B's 5-way this week to go to state finals. So there you go. I would miss Little B's match to make it to the state finals in Evansville. So.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I just feel like there's so many things. Like, that could be like a weekly segment a year. Like, every week now I've heard something crazy, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know if it's worth that to me. Yeah. Like, I might just, sit back and watch my kid.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I try to get to all my kids' events,
Matt Kelly said if there's no shaved ice, why do we even go?
Yeah.
Even if you have kids.
Well, they have they had Kona Ice at the at Game Bridge last year, which is like just a knockoff.
We did not. I'll let you guys know we did not have that in East Chicago.
You didn't?
I don't even know if we had hot dogs at the upstairs concession stand. No Kona Ice, no hot dogs. They had tamales, but they're not upstairs. But I seen a lot of people look good.
They said Evansville wouldn't have shaved ice, but I'm pretty sure I stood in front of a shaved ice stand while Justin Ratliff talking my ear off, and I almost missed the opening of the ticket round. I'm pretty sure that was a shaved ice stand we were standing in front of. So
you need to hang around better people, Dustin. I mean, that Ratliff guy. No, I mean, you're going to have an upgrade this weekend because you're going to be hanging around with us.
I saw that. That was like literally one of my favorite posts of the weekend. And both ways, like his post and your post. I think that's great.
Yeah.
How about I'm recording him not knowing that he's yelling, call Dustin Bentz, call Triple B. That's what he's yelling as I'm recording him. I have no clue. I was just with my wife, and I'm like, man, this would be a pretty cool moment. Let me find Ratliff and record him celebrating his kid winning semi-state, not knowing he's talking crap to me as he's yelling as I'm recording him. Like, and then I got the phone call from Asher, still heavy breathing, like not 2 seconds later, like, hey, Dustin, I had a dream last night that after I won, I called you and said, you didn't pick me to win. Awesome, Asher. Congratulations, man.
Nice. But I didn't know you did seating at semi-state. I guess, according to Ratliff, you did the seating?
Yeah, that's right. Seated the previews, I guess. I don't know.
What else?
Ratliff's gonna come after. Well, actually, Ratliff's probably just gonna send one of his 25 kids after me.
I know, that's a lot of kids, man. Yeah, how about that, man? I got that call on the way to practice when they released the tickets for parents. That kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't suck for us. Like, we're not. I mean, maybe in a couple of years for you, Dustin. So who gets to stay home?
I told my wife that story tonight, and she said, I will kill some. Like, there will be death if that happens to us in 2 or 3. If Brendan's now hold on, we're not going to say Brendan makes it. If Brendan's lucky enough to make it to the state, and we're in that position, she said she's going to reach into her Kona background, dig up some old buddies.
I feel like, and I'm like, yeah, man, cool, take your parents. And then people are posting stuff. I'm like, man, yeah, like, and Josh, like, I got 2 kids. And like, how are they gonna? I gotta pay for them to go somewhere else, and we're getting for extra fees. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks. And they're like, what if your parents are divorced? I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks too. Like, what do you like? That's not good.
We're good for Amish families. Yeah, I think the 4 is good, and obviously everyone wants to have 20 tickets, but I think the 4 is good. Like we said with the kids, if you have a family of 4. One kid qualifies. You're gonna take it. You gotta go find 1 ticket, and someone's gonna be sitting out in the upper deck or somewhere over it. Yeah, that's.
Man, I think that's. I don't know, man. It's tough. I don't know, man. I'm not part of that. I don't know what the right way is. I always thought like it'd be cooler for me. And now, like, obviously, it sounds like Newcastle and Warren Central don't like each other. Like, you don't want to put those guys next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every team should be able to get a decent. It'd be nice if you could kind of somehow do it like NCAAs, where each team gets a little bit of an allotment, but you have 98 teams or something there. So that's 98 teams. You can't. Yeah, if you give each team 10 tickets, 20 tickets, that's.
What if you gave like a lot by the amount of qualifiers, and then you started like bigger sections instead? Like, I mean, that's what the big thing was for like, assigning seats, right? Like, you would have someone run down there, hey, we're gonna have this Belmont section because Dave's not on here. No, they're all watching the Haggard, Hershey, and Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly. but like, what if? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I'm back on the Whitehead thing. I just see people posting. I don't know, like, the background of any of that. I just seen what was there. Someone was like, well, you didn't see last year. You're right. I didn't see last year. It wasn't on my news feed. Like, if it was, I would have saw that too. I'd be like, that's probably not right. But I think, like, it'd be better, like, can you just, like, release amount of tickets like they do at NCAAs to a fan group allotted by the amount of qualifiers you have?
Yeah.
Like, if you get one guy, shout out to South Putnam, Man of the Year, Colts Man of the Year. Like, give those guys 10 tickets, and if they don't have them, they can sell them back.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're, Crown Point, like, give those guys enough tickets where they're all going to be sitting in the same area. You can have a nice cheering section. Modern Day is going to bring a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to do a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, they are. So, yeah,
I don't think
Blake, Assembly Hall. I guess we're gonna freaking go over this 1,000 times. Assembly Hall didn't. Number one, they couldn't guarantee it because of basketball. I think they do have they open. They couldn't guarantee it. Number two, they didn't want to host it. Okay, quit freaking say. I'm getting a little bit tired of people. Oh, they should have done this. The IHSA did what they could. Fort Wayne would only guarantee 1 day. They would only let them be there for 1 day. So if you wanted state for only 1 day only, you guys would be complaining about that. Can't be held in Indy anywhere.
Dang, bro, get off my lawn, right?
I'm just tired. I'm tired of the people being idiots and having to say this over and over. It won't be at Indy, so shut up.
I like it, man, and I think everyone like gets upset about it, right? And I think that I get asked this question probably almost as much about like rankings when people tell me you didn't see that coming. Like, I don't know, man. I don't see any of it coming, honestly. But I like when they're like, oh, you hate that guy. Like everyone, they'll be like, oh, you don't like this guy posting all the time. The general heavy hands. They're like, you don't like that guy. No, I actually really do like that guy. Because the more he posts, the more people go at him, the more people that go to the page that are probably going to hit the rankings that they tell me they don't care about. And then we see how many views they get at the end.
Yeah. Yes.
I actually like it that it's in Evansville because more people are getting traffic to the site, and I think it's good for us.
Yeah.
Like, I wish every time that we had a post about it being in Evansville, we also put a link with merchandise in there.
Maybe.
Can we code that? And then, like, oh, man, I hate that it's in Evansville, but that's a sweet IndianaMat hat. I want to wear that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing. One thing we can talk about before we get too far, Dustin at Evansville, there was a crazy tick-around match. Correct?
So what match are you talking about?
Are we talking about 120?
120.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sorry. I had a match I want to talk about, but yeah, Henderson, Haynes, kudos to Derek Snyder, man. Like, I've been in Evansville before when, hurt, but you've seen a wrestler, and the fans have all yelled, they've taken a dive. I've seen coaches one of my greatest memories was Deckard and Goebel almost coming to blows in a tick-around match one year when I think the modern day kid took the dive to advance the state. So, I mean, kudos to Snyder because that place was buzzing. And when, Haynes wasn't moving, sorry, am I getting Haynes or Ison? Am I getting that right or wrong?
Haynes.
Yeah. Haynes isn't moving. The place starts buzzing. There's a palpable buzz going through the whole arena. People start figuring out what's going on. And Snyder came over, talked to the ref, called Schaefer over, talked to Schaefer. Schaefer was kind of going, his kid's wrestling on the other mat, and he's kind of going back and forth trying to take care of Henderson. Called him over, they had a talk, and, they injury defaulted. So, huge. I mean, that potentially might cost Brownsburg a state title this weekend, but, like he put on the post on IndianaMat, like, that's not how they roll, man. Like, super, super kudos to Coach Snyder and the staff there.
And I think you're right, man. We've seen it before. I remember there was one at like 171 at Maryville. It was a Maryville kid was winning big, slammed the kid, and he laid down. And I remember like the place went nuts, and you're on top of everybody. And then the same kid came back the next match with a Band-Aid on his shoulder, and he got booed again. And they were so mad. Something similar happened at East Chicago. The tick around at 132. I thought Rivera was slammed. I thought he was going to stay down. He looked pretty injured, and it sounded like he was the one that made the call to continue. You could tell he was definitely injured in that match and went through and did it, man. But it happens all the time. I think it's – and like you said, man, shout out to Derek because it had been the 1 year Crown Point lost. Bedich, what do you have, Seltzer in the semis? He got slammed, and if he would have stayed down – Crown Point would have won the title that year. They'd be going for 4, right?
Yeah. And
he didn't. He got up, finished the match, and he ended up, losing. And I think he was like, I could have. We sit close enough we could hear what the conversation. And he's like, I just lost us a title. I think if I stay down there, we win. And Bill, I think, told him like, dude, you did the right thing. Like, we would never want to win like that.
Yeah. No. The thing is, I mean,
Babcock had something similar. Yeah.
A couple things with that. Number one, everyone hears slam, and everyone's like, "Oh, that wasn't a slam. That wasn't a slam." That's probably 60% of the time, 60-70% of the time called a slam, and it wasn't. The thing is, when you think of slam, you think malicious intent and everything. It was just good, hard wrestling. I mean, obviously, both those guys know that they have to go hard to score on either of them, and you're going to get in positions where you might put a kid down hard. I mean, just like in the 132-pound one, it wasn't malicious. It was just one of those things that he knew he had to return him hard or he's going to get right back up. That type of thing.
Yeah.
It was if it's malicious, that's a totally different story and lay down. You have no if the kid's a jerk and he's trying to hurt your kid, yeah, 100%. But so that being that said, Haynes has been a warrior for Brownsburg this year. Torn ACL and just gutted out everything. I remember at the Ironman, and they must have talked to him about like, hey, if we can't get you to the second, in a good position in the second day, we're going to default. And he was losing that last match of the first day, and he wasn't going to win. I mean, I think Derek kind of saw that, and then they injury defaulted halfway through the match or in third period. It was long enough that he kind of knew he wasn't going to win. And I guess Derek, like Haynes was all upset and stuff, and Derek's like, I thought we talked about this earlier. It's not worth it at the Ironman to do more damage when it's an important event, but team state and the state finals are a little more important for them. So, but yeah, kudos to them. I talked to Coach Snyder, and it's the right thing to do, and I think he could. I mean, if Haynes would have been able to come back for this week, he's even as a 4, he's going to be dangerous. But that would have been not the right thing to do. And plus, on top of everything, Henderson was winning. It was 5-1. There's 30, 40 seconds left in the match, I think. Is that right, Dustin?
Yeah. Henderson was up 5-1, 40 seconds ago. That would have been 7-1 had that takedown been finished.
Yeah.
So,
and not to say the match was over, but he'd controlled the match for 5.5 minutes. So, that kind of type of stuff. I mean, I think that played into it a little bit. I mean, if it's tied or Haynes is winning, I think there might be a different story, but or it's a 1-point match maybe. So I don't know. I guess we won't find that out, but kudos to them, and hopefully.
Hey, I got to talk about 150 before we move on though.
Is this Pike and Franklin that Blake just talked about?
Yeah, that Blake just talked, and that's the match that was in my head when you asked about an exciting tick around match. If you have Flo, go back and watch bout number 62, 150 opening round, Emmanuel Akapadija and Cameron Summers from Franklin. So Akapadija at the end of the third period takes his second injury time, has the period in. So going into the minute overtime, he takes his second injury time. Summers has choice. Summers takes down. Akapadija then rides them for the whole minute in overtime. I'm talking like we're going out of bounds. Summers gets away at the last second on the edge. Akapadija shot. His knee shot or something. He's having a hard time getting up. He's willing himself back to the center. The crowd's getting restless. Then they go into the second overtime, and Akapadija gets rode out. So now we're in that third second overtime. Summers gets away, and they both just kind of pause. And Akapadija pouts for about 2 seconds, and then blast double Summers with 5 seconds to go, holds on and wins 6-5 to get to the ticket round. Where then he only lost 5-3 to Vanover. I mean, that kid, I don't know what was wrong with his knee. Man, a fantastic, like one of the best first round matches I've ever seen. So if you have Flo, go watch it. It's a great match.
Bro,
that's crazy.
I think we were studying like matches that were happening at that time. You guys we were on the same time zone. That Cameron, I did that Cam Woods and Max Quiros. That was 24-20.
Yeah.
And it was like a big Woods got up huge, and I'm like watching. I'm like, bro, he's gonna come back, and he's cutting him and taking him down. He's like looking at the official, just kind of laying there. He's like, yep, that's one. Just spins behind him. Like, bro, he might get him here.
Nice.
It was wild.
And then at 150, my Triple B guarantee, Hunter May comes through with the big dub.
Quick dub too, right?
Yeah, Spladle, first period Spladle, and then gets pinned in the finals in a crucifix. I've never seen somebody pinned in a crucifix, but Krestia, man, like Hook and Half said, man, he wrestled like somebody kicked his dog all day long, like shaking hands, slapping hands, running off the mat as fast as he could, and he had taken down May twice, and then a scramble, he just hooks the leg, hooks the arm, and hits a crucifix. So it was almost like the old Rey Mysterio crucifix you used to see on Monday Nitro, but it was nice. And got the pinfall.
So yeah, there's some good stuff. Fort Wayne. Anything else from yours, from Evansville, Dustin? I guess before I talk anything about Fort Wayne.
No. Go ahead. Go on to Fort Wayne.
Okay. Delta won. Nothing too nothing. No big time drama. And the 190 got blown up early. In just the brackets that we kind of thought were kind of crazy. I don't know. Delta looked pretty good from the beginning. Nothing, no major upsets. 150 was kind of a crazy weight class. I do not think we would have picked that one. That was just a lot of guys that just started wrestling well.
See what I did.
What did you say? Yeah.
I wanted the pick'ems there, so let me recall what I did there.
Did you pick Aiden Elkins to win?
I picked him to qualify. I did not pick him to win, I don't believe.
Okay. I don't think the ticket round didn't have too much drama. A couple early matches that kind of...
Jalen May, right? That was a good one.
Yeah, Jalen, he destroyed...
Ouch. Come on,
That's
Joe.
probably not the nicest thing to say, but he pinned Johns in 2 minutes, and it was all control. So, yeah, Braden Daniels had a good day, avenged the loss, to Rawls, and so he had a really good day. First time really seeing Jensen Boyd. I mean, I saw him at IPO and stuff. He's good at wrestling, and he's my pick for a state title right now. He's rolling.
I said the same thing about Mason when I watched him on Saturday. Weird.
Ooh. Fort Wayne's got to get a champ, so he's my pick.
That was I think that was a good match at IPO. I mean, I don't have the match number in front of me, but I think that he got thrown late, right? Mason was up, got thrown pretty late in that match.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. That'll be semis, I believe.
And we get to see that in the semifinals.
Yes. As when I got the brackets yesterday, I'm just like I see them all. I'm like, this is like Christmas morning. You're looking at them like ooh, and stuff. So I don't think Boyd's a lock, but I will. That's gonna be good. So geez, where'd Mike go? Dustin.
Mike left. He said he's out.
He just done and left. We're 40 minutes in, and we haven't talked about any brackets. We're going to get over the brackets. We're going to start at the big guy. We're going to do it like they do it on Friday night. We're going to start at 150, go all the way to heavyweight, and then go down to 106. So, last night we got to reveal the brackets. Hopefully it was a good show. It was a lot of fun to do, trying to keep it about an hour and a half and try to say a little bit about everybody. So that's the hardest thing is... And I'm still amazed by how Coach Gable did all that by himself. So that's
and you're impressed by his choice in vehicle too, right?
Yes, yeah. He's driving a pretty nice little vehicle. So, yeah. But yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I was like sitting there and like doing 224 and he's like, well, you could probably just do this by yourself. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Number one, I can't talk that much. And number two, I mean, doing all for everybody, I mean, I could wing it enough, but I don't think it'd do it justice. And having two people being able to do their research and like half a bracket and stuff. So, yeah. But we're going to double.
Yeah. You got a randomizer. Let's just, let's not even go one way. Let's just throw it in a randomizer. Whatever weight comes up, we'll go there.
Okay, we can do that. I'll go to random.org. I just said the random.org list. Let's do it. 106.
Random.org sounds like a dating site.
I know.
Oops.
That's how people are going to go meet up in Evansville this weekend on random.org.
That's where Blake Harvey goes, random.org.
and Blake, there's a lot that goes in. There would have been a lot of, number one, if they shifted it back a week or up a week, that would affect other state championships, but also Evansville Coliseum, Fort Wayne Coliseum. There would have been a ripple effect, and then that would have affected conferences, our week. Yeah, I don't think people understand that there's a lot that goes into that, and I think, and they did probably look at all that stuff. It is. Are you saying that
people don't think about the other sports outside of the world's greatest sport, the oldest sport?
Yeah. So, so here we go. We're gonna randomize.
Nah, Brock Peel can't be on the call this weekend, man. He said my voice is too nasally. He said it doesn't sound good.
Ooh,
hurt my feelings.
Joe Clark's not gonna like this. We're gonna do it again.
What's the first weight?
No, the last weight was the weight he didn't want to see. Let's see. We'll do it. How many times do we do this?
I think we did. Yeah,
so, tell me when to stop. I'll just keep randomizing it.
All right, let's go.
They pay pals for what weight class they want first.
Yeah.
So we are going to start at one. Oops, I gotta bring my bracket up. 157. There we go. Oops. And we are not at 157. So I gotta go to 157. We got these nice spiffy brackets. Check them out on Facebook. So some pretty nice brackets. They have the rankings in there. These are like a little bit more fancier graphics, but we do have the ones that have rankings, state rankings, and semi-state and state. So, yeah. Oh, Nick's on here.
Cool. Shout out Nicky Dubs.
Yeah.
Too cool to come to state with us and hang out with his friends.
I'm disappointed. I thought it being in Evansville, he'd come back, bring his boombox.
Yes. Bring the boombox, everything. So, okay, we're going to start at 157. You got Mitchell Betts, Michael Caine, 3-11. Mason Day, Bo Brabender. So, that's going to be an interesting Mishawaka-Brownsburg match. And you got Cashman, Russell, Van Tichel, Stitz. I believe Van Tichel beat him 5-4 at Al Smith. Six of the 8 were at Al Smith. So we're running back that whole bracket right there in the top half. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that was won by Brabender, and that'll be pretty interesting.
Are we just going to the top one? All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, Betts, his only loss was at Al Smith. That'll be a good Friday night matchup. Day and Brabender, I mean, does Derek's heart still live in Mishawaka a little bit? You know?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
So that's probably not the one you want to see. Brabender wrestled real well Saturday. Been wrestling well all season. The match with Pellet in the finals was really good. I think Betts has kind of been his kryptonite, though. Betts has got a couple dubs over him, right?
Over Brabender? Yeah.
Yeah, not this year, but in the past.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he beat him last year for third, and he beat him last year for at like Al Smith.
At Al Smith, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good quad right there of wrestlers.
Yeah. And then you got Cashman, Russell. They didn't wrestle at the Al Smith. Van Tichel and Stitz did, with Van Tichel winning 5-4. Is that correct? There's a website.
I thought did Van Tichel beat him? I thought Stitz won that.
Maybe Stitz won that. I might be. I just remember on my notes it was I did have that in there. Then there was one of the weights where we started to get ready to go, and I saw that Gable
I thought Stitz beat him twice. Yeah, Stitz beat him at Team State 4-0, and he beat him at Al Smith. Maybe he didn't wrestle him at Al Smith.
Yeah, they didn't wrestle at Al Smith, right? Or
they wrestled at Team State, and Stitz won 4-0.
No, they wouldn't have been at Team State. They wouldn't have wrestled. Crown Point didn't wrestle Center Grove at Team State this year.
No?
No. So he would have wrestled. So
Oh, man,
it was 4-0, yes. Sorry, Stitz did win. Why did I have 4-5?
What's happening right now?
So
Why is y'all doing that to me, man?
yeah.
Put him on one IHSA show. Now he's got all the answers.
I already did a lot of the research. Any that's gonna be another good, you got Cashman with the state medal. Van Tichel and Stitz were qualifiers last year. Brabender with a state medal. Day qualifier. Betts. I mean, so you got 6 guys with state experience right there. That's pretty good.
It looks like I got a lot of rank guys in this bracket.
Yeah. Any comments there, Dustin?
No, I mean, like you said, it's brutal. I'm not familiar with your guys up from the north, but yeah, that's a crazy kind of top bracket there.
Okay. Now we're gonna get to. Oh, go ahead.
Cashman ended up winning Newcastle, right?
Yes.
I mean, kind of reversed. I know he took a loss early in the year to Silas Foster, but that Van Tichel Stitz is going to be huge. I mean, Crown Point's going to look to. I mean, they're kind of in the driver's seat right now for a state title, team state title. I mean, Center Grove, they're going to be looking to get some points there too.
Yeah.
Cashman turning semifinals up a weight, so another really good quarter.
Yeah, and Cashman and Stitz? Cashman won. Okay, it was 5-4. That's the one I saw. Cashman beat Stitz 5-4. So that's, I mean, Center Grove's like, hey, we got this guy, we got tough draw, but at the same time, it's very winnable that he can get. He has a rematch he's won and a 1-point match that he can get to the semifinals and maybe even make a run to the finals, and can make that's huge. I mean, as we say a lot when it comes to the team race, you gotta get those semifinalists. Plain and simple. I mean, if you don't get those semifinalists, that's huge points, and that's guaranteed points because you get the semifinals, you're guaranteed top 4, and that's a lot of points. So bottom half, Adrian Pellat, Maryville, only one loss is the Brabender avenged that to kill Hickok, the Cougar. Silas
Right.
Foster, first state qualifier for Purdue Polytech. The professor doing a good job over there. Tegan Klaus, West Noble. West Noble got 2 guys to state, and then bottom quarter, Gavin Davis, Aiden Kincaid. Should be a good one. Kincaid, pretty good. Asher Ratliff, only like 2 or 3 of his family members are going to be able to be there, so he won't have as loud of a cheering section. And Javon Frost from Delphi.
Javon Frost. They told me.
Javon.
Well, we've been saying his name wrong the whole year, and they weren't going to say nothing unless he qualified for state. So they came up to the announcer's table and let me know.
Yeah.
Javon. He's pretty good. Solid, real solid.
Yeah.
So you want to start this one, B?
Yeah, I go with Ratliff, right? Ratliff comes out of that quarter bracket.
Yeah, I think so.
Man,
The Ratliff train keeps rolling.
did you pimp? Were you on the WZBD? Did you pimp Ratliff over Davis?
So I was only there for 144. I did a call in for Parker Reynolds and my boy Gabe Rose, and I hyped them both up, and then I was out just like that.
Man, so they didn't give you a chance to say that Ratliff was going to beat Davis. You'd never be allowed in Adams County if you did that. So
I picked Reynolds over the Adams Central kid. I don't think they like that, but that's all right.
yeah.
Pellet looks really good, man. He's wrestling tough. Real solid, man. He looks strong. I mean, Betts is a big 57. Yeah, that's who beat Betts at Al Smith. Hickok is a guy that they sent us an email about him. Their coaches, like, hey, man, this is a guy to watch. And I left him out of the rankings.
I ran into their coach at the hotel Friday night, and he said, "Get away, Triple B, get away! You didn't get away!" And I said, "I said he might be the luckiest cougar in the house tomorrow." So then I had to tell my wife about the cougar joke, and then everything was fine. But I mean, it was all good, man. He punched it.
Nice.
Foster, I think this is a better weight for him than last year. Obviously, had the season end a little bit earlier than they wanted. Wrestling real well. Kincaid, real talented freshman, real good. That'd be a tough one Friday night. I know. I hope Belmont's not looking past that.
Yeah. Kincaid's
35-5 for a freshman at 57 is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
Kincaid's contender train. I think he's a contender kid too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I bet, man. They got a lot of good kids, man. And I think they posted a list of all their guys that qualify. It was a pretty long list.
Yeah, 33.
And then Frost and Ratliff, man. Ratliff, maybe keep it going. Looking good. And then it's not if I picked against them, I didn't pick against them, so only B's. I didn't get shouted out. Hurt a guy's feelings, you know.
So is Ratliff Triple B trained?
No, can't claim him.
Okay, just making sure. So
who you got? We're gonna go all the way. Who's your 2 picks at 57 ranker?
Man,
Pick your final. That's it.
Man, that's heard some wild stuff. Kincaid's dad was a bricky cradle master. I heard Kincaid's a bricky cradle master too. My picks for the finals to get to the finals. I think we're running it back. Pellet and Rob Bender. Steve told me
going with the
Steve told me
rankings
in the summer that he thought Rob Bender was going to win state. And he said there was like a point where he remembered that like Joe Walker turned that corner, and it was like he told me like Joe's gonna win state. And the same thing with Bo. I think Bo just kind of had like a mental lapse right at the end of that match. He got hit for a stall late to tie it, and kind of dove for a leg. And Pellet's defense is really good. I wouldn't be surprised to see Betts, but I think Rob Bender and Pellet.
Yeah, I think I picked Betts to win the bracket, and when I did the over unders on the IndianaMat, and Betts was one of my 2 or 3 Fort Wayne state champs.
Oh, man, going up to 3. So okay, we are next going to 132, and
Random.
that was a. There's only 11 undefeated wrestlers. 3 of them are at 132, which is interesting that we didn't. Usually we have about 20 to 25 undefeated guys, and this year only 11, which is crazy. Obviously, this is one of the first brackets I'm like shuffling through to see, and I'm like, oh, and yeah, this is tough. Hayden DeMarco, Cole Stuffle, Jack Davis from Chittard, and Eddie Goss. So that's a good 3 and 4. We're gonna run that final back.
Can we just do a face-off for the quarters just to have it one more time?
Yes, we will do one.
I think we got to.
That's gonna be salty right there.
Was there like some heat there before that, or they just? I mean, DeMarco wrestled a little chippy already. Like he likes to wrestle with a little bit of an edge. He's not afraid to let you know how he feels about things. He might be a guy that he'll do something and he'll tell you. He might tell you he doesn't like your rankings right to your face.
Yeah.
He might tell you how he doesn't like your style of wrestling. I think I sent you some excerpts from the NWI Times where he was talking about how how he wrestles and everyone should wrestle that way.
He's not shy. He's not a shy kid.
He didn't like where his ranking was last year. He let us know. He's definitely a kid that'll let you know his thoughts and opinions. If you ask him where he wants to go eat, he's gonna let you know. Hey man, we're gonna go eat wherever I want to go. He's not gonna say, I don't know, I don't care.
Yeah. Yes. He's not gonna mince his words. He's gonna say, and he wrestles like that. He has that chip on his shoulder, and he's fun to watch. I mean, honestly, he isn't afraid to go after it, and I mean, honestly, if more people wrestle like him, our sport would be a little bit more popular because he gets after it. He likes to scramble. He'll throw. He'll do crazy things, and sometimes he takes L's doing that, but most of the time he takes wins.
He's got some really weird positions in the final. I thought Cessa wrestled really tough in the finals, and Sonny got to some really good attacks, and it wasn't really like a cutback. I don't know. Like he just Cessa had a high C, was bringing it up, and DeMarco just grabbed his other leg and took him to his back. It was weird. Like he just really wrestles a different style. I mean, obviously he's undefeated, but he's a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
Davis gave Therian a really good match. They said, right? 1 point loss. You cut him late.
Yeah.
So that's not a given on Friday night. They said he's a big 32. I know he wrestled some 38 this summer. Generally, if you're wrestling the weight above you did in March of last year, usually you're putting a little bit of weight, I would assume.
So, yeah. Then you got Bradley, Dylan Fernandez, Keith Parker, Cole Vandegrift. Vandegrift had a good couple wins. So, Bradley has a medal. Parker was a qualifier last year. So,
man, Parker, the Ben Davis coach, probably loses 5 pounds every match his kids wrestle. So, I'll be rooting for Parker just to see him running up and down the mats, sliding back and forth, jumping up and down, goes to the coach's table. I mean, I hope he wears his Nikes because, man, he runs all over the place. He's an entertaining coach to watch.
Yeah. That sounds fun. And that wasn't even Harris, was it?
No, Quinn was the one collected and calm in the corner.
Shout out to Dylan Fernandez. Was not on. I would tell you if he was on the watch list. I'll take credit. He was not on the watch list. He was not ranked in the semi-state. Congratulations to him. He came to a quarter bracket there. Jackson Bradley, real tough. I thought that was a good cut for him to go from 38 to 32. Still undefeated, sophomore. Fan of the show. Got AJ Bradley, the Bradley family. Those guys, I love those guys. The Friday night match, Parker Vandegrift would be good. I heard someone calling Parker to the semis. What do you think, Bees? You seen him?
No, I don't think he beats Jackson. I've seen Jackson Bradley. I don't think he beats Bradley. No disrespect, but I mean, Jackson beat Little B at IPO, so I gotta go with Jackson, right? So I can keep riding that out.
There you go.
My kid got beat by that kid at IPO.
You need to talk to someone about getting a better draw at IPO.
Hey, he's an 8th grader, so I'm not gonna complain too much. So.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. Some good quarterfinal matches there. Bottom half is where there's some spice. And there's a lot of spice. Hockaday, Isaac Kuhn, shout out to the Iron Bear, getting 3 qualifiers. Hayden Fritz, West Central, Ty Linzer. I think West Central and Western are in the same conference, so a little bit of conference rivalry. That's always kind of funny when you see teams from the same conference.
Are they in the same conference?
Maybe, no, even not. Maybe no. It's Western and Hamilton Heights.
Harrison and those guys, right?
Yeah, Western and Hamilton Heights are. I don't think West Central is, but I'll check. There's a website for that. So what's your thoughts on that, Mike?
I'm not a big fan of how that came out. Like that's like you said, like you run to the bracket. I think now with like the advent of the television, the moving picture, and you're gonna broadcast this. Like I think that's the match. Like you put them on opposite sides, and hey, great for DeMarco and great for Jackson Bradley. They're undefeated, and they're on the other side. But like if I'm someone and I'm marketing and I did zero college marketing, I would think that's a match I'd want under the lights on TV. You know, maybe closing out the show. Like 2 state champs, 2 guys that were two guys are in the national rankings at some point. I think Hackaday's still in the national rankings. I don't know if Thrion is.
Yeah.
But you know, those guys that'll be a good one. Fritz and Linzer Friday night. But I mean, Jake's kind of gone to the state and done his thing 2 years in a row, pretty good. 3 years in a row now, going back.
Yeah. No, Fritz and Linzer aren't in that quarter or in the same conference. It is Kuhn and Linzer are. But yeah, that's a when you say that about marketing and stuff, and now that you guys just say TV is the only one broadcasting the finals, they're living on those subscriptions. That's a big one to you can get a lot of subscriptions off that one. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I know. I can tell you this. I do know this that they are talking about seeding team sports like baseball and football and stuff at the IHSA. So that would give you inclinations that they would maybe be open to seeding, doing a pseudo seeding here of which, of the ones and, of the champions. The only thing you guys can probably see my mind is the 2s and 3s, like which 2 goes on top, which 2 goes on bottom of each of these brackets. I think you could kind of figure something out, but I wouldn't, I'm not going to say offhand.
I think you've done a good job of infiltrating the IHSAA. I think we did a good job of seeding the Al Smith. I think we have some pretty independent thinking people that are not like very like connected to any team that we're going to be swayed. I think we could probably figure that out as a community.
Yeah, I know Illinois has they have a seeding formula, and Stanley posted a little bit.
Joe was just talking about it.
And I think it's a little bit based on your state credentials, but then it goes like if you have so many wins, which I'm not really the biggest fan of, but I guess if you're going to separate them, then that's how you do it. But yeah, so that'd be interesting. And I think that IHSA, they're mainly worried about guys.
Their USA Wrestling pin ranking, right? That's what they're pushing in the state now.
Oh, no. We will not use the pin ranking.
Joe Butler said it too. It's the pin system.
Oh, no. Joseph, I'll ban you for that comment. No. I don't know. You could do, all you do is seed 4 guys. In all honesty, you got to seed 4 of them. And, you can use logic to seed them. So, and then go from there. So, anyway, then the bottom quarter bracket, there's a lot of spice there. You got Carter Field and Sonny Sessa. They're no strangers.
Nope.
Last year, Friday night, they wrestled the same match. So, that'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Field looked good this weekend. He's wrestling pretty good right now. Obviously, Sessa's wrestling really well, avenging some losses. Then the winner of that will get the winner of Thrine and Chef. So Chef qualified and having a good year, but he did not get the draw he wanted. But he was going to get an undefeated guy no matter what. So
right.
But yeah, again, like having Thrine and Hockaday on the same side, I think they're missing a golden chance, man. Like, and I think Thrine built I don't know how everyone else feels, and maybe I'm different. I thought that Thrine kind of walked out of the state finals last year, like everyone was buzzing about him. Like, like that was the guy, right? Like everyone, like even Flo. I'm sure that Flo video still gets a lot of hits. It's unbeaten freshman beats nationally ranked senior. He's really fun to watch. I haven't seen him this year. I haven't seen barely any Newcastle results. But him and Hockaday, like that's gonna be possibly a good one. Chef's tough too. Chef had a win over Sessa at IPO. Fielden beat Sessa at Al Smith this year, so I think he's currently 2-1 against him, right?
Yep.
Last year, Friday night, and Sessa won the first time. I thought Sonny wrestled really well at down the stretch. I think he wrestled really well against Mount Carmel. He bumped up and beat Damian Resendez. Wrestled really well Saturday at was in the finals. I mean, his last couple of losses have been to DeMarco, I think, regional and semi-state. So it'll be see who makes the most adjustments. Is the Garrett staff going to make the adjustments and keep winning, or is Crown Point going to come with a different plan and see if they can pull one out? I think their styles are very. I think they have styles that are very like water and oil, right? Fielding can get some big moves, kind of score big points, and Sessa's going to stay in front of you and keep moving and grind out wins.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Fielding's kind of figured them out twice, but they're gonna have to. It's gonna be adjustments. Who's gonna make the better adjustments, and who's gonna make the right adjustments? Sometimes you say, "Hey, well, let's try this," and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah.
Hey, McMurray asked if I'm sleeping. I'm not sleeping. I'm just sitting here, so thankful that we have access to a bar this year in the premium seating with some of these Friday night matches. And I hope it's open Saturday morning for the quarterfinals, because I would be ready to hit some beer before these matches in the quarterfinals.
Is it a beer only? Can we get some Bloody Mary Saturday? Because, man,
that
makes it for a rowdy weekend.
I'm like Fielding and Sessa and a bar. Like, man, it's going to be great Friday night. That's awesome.
Oh, man, TJ coming at me, man, that's my guy, too. I really think I think that's wild. I thought you were playing, man, honestly. I thought they were going to be serving alcohol. Sounds like they are. That's going to be pretty great for me.
Nice. Very good for me. Nice. Okay. We are going now to...
Who's your 2 picks? Who are you picking for the finals?
I'm going to say Hockaday DeMarco. I think that would be a good...
Yeah,
that's one I want to see, because I think both wrestle a fun style, and it could be even if it's a 3-2 match, it's going to be exciting. It could be a 15-10 match, because Jake's not afraid to do the same. I mean, I want to say they're almost mirror wrestlers of each other. They're not afraid to mix it up. They like to score points. They're that could be a 15-10 match. It could be a 3-2 match, but one of the most exciting 3-2 matches you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I agree. We're on 3 for 3 on that. That's what I got too.
So we are going up to 175, and we're going to start off with Dustin Bentz, who he's taking his services to Floyd Knobs. Bray Emrine having a real good year. His only losses to a guy at 165 who's having a good season. He has Aiden White, Crown Point, and then we got another salty man. I just looked through these matches as I was going through right when I mean, it'd be cool if someone just videoed something like one of us is looking at these brackets, and it's like, oh, Harden and Russell, 2 guys with state medals. Friday night, Delta's in the mix.
I didn't even know Harden was in the bracket. I thought there was a text that went out in our group, the Saturday morning sectionals, that said no Harden. I didn't even know he was wrestling until this bracket came out.
Yeah. Geez, that's how much you pay attention to anything north of Indy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not in Evansville, it don't count anyway. But man, much respect to Kyle Harden. Man, I've coached with his dad on some outlaw trips, so I'm excited to see him there. I thought he was out with injury till this bracket came out. It
was going back and forth, but he took his first real loss, and then him and Russell looked good this weekend. That'll be a real good match. Did they wrestle last year? There's a website for that. Go ahead, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, Emrine having a really good year. That's a tough. I mean, I'm sure that White feels like that's a spot where they were hoping probably not to get Emrine. I mean, I don't know who you wanted out of those 4, but that Harden Braxton Russell match. I mean, 2 guys with medals. That's gonna be a tough one. I haven't seen Kyle this year, so I don't know how injured he is. Hopefully, he's a little bit getting healthier as the tournament goes on. But I think that'll be a good one. Kind of differing styles too.
Yeah, Harden beat Russell 3-1 last year at state. So yeah, that'll be a good match. Going down, Aiden Costello, Noah Sumner. First round, Cassell still undefeated. Leish Detweiler, Michael White. That should be a good match right there. They have a little bit of a common opponent in Chase Leach. White beat Leach, and Detweiler lost to him, but Detweiler is a big 75-pounder. That's going to be a good match right there.
Yeah, Costello got a forfeit in the finals at Al Smith, wrestling really well. I'm sure Sumner will be ready. I mean, you guys seen him this weekend. I know those guys that train with Martinsville and Briar Runyon and those guys. They look like they know how to lift weights. Briar looks like he knows how to lift weights too. Detweiler and White, that'd be a good one. I think Michael White's a guy that kind of under the radar a little bit at 16. Detweiler returning medalist. That'd be a good Friday night match. I think White's had some really good wins this year.
Actually, Aaron Johnson's the head coach at Martinsville now.
Oh, is he? My fault, man.
Trained at Foxcatcher and stuff. Yeah, so.
That's pretty good. Oh, Aaron Johnson, the dude that used to do like it was like an indie doing jiu-jitsu. That guy.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good coach.
So going bottom half bracket, Brenton Russell, Warren Central, Ethan Farnell from Maconaquah, Cooper McCloy, Terre Haute South via Kansas, Zamarian Holyfield. So 4 state ranked guys. That should be Russell has a state medal. McCloy, does he the one? He has a state medal in Kansas, and
is he a qualifier in Kansas, right? McCloy.
Yeah. Yes, maybe he's. Yeah, he was the qualifier. So yeah. What do you think here?
You want to start off, B?
I mean, Russell's the one to beat. McCloy looked good last weekend. He was, being behind Bray and Klauser is a pretty big bracket. And I don't know if he's underranked or not. I mean, it was hard to rank, coming in from Kansas. But I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls the first round win there. But yeah, I think Russell's the favorite to win that quarter bracket for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting wrestlers there. I haven't seen McCloy this year. Zamarian Holyfield took the default loss to Costello at East Chicago. His other loss was to Costello at the Harvest Classic, where he was injured the first time, so that's kind of why he doesn't have those numbers. He had a really good ticket round match with Cameron Crisp of Maryville. He's a real explosive guy. I think he has some big move too. So if McCloy is a guy that likes to go big moves, so does Holyfield. Russell, I kind of say it on here a bunch, and I know his uncle's in here. He's probably one of my favorite wrestlers in the state just because he's the guy that just lets it fly. Like, he's going to go out there and just going to keep going, and he's going to put up big points. He's not afraid to throw people. And a guy that doesn't coach, that's not, like, worried about having that stress. I think that he's a guy that, like, I like to watch as someone that watches wrestling because he's a guy that's going to put it on the line. Yeah. Sounds like his uncles helped him train, took some of that old Newcastle wrestling over to Warren and helped him be a pretty good wrestler over there for those guys. I know he's spent some time at number 1.
Yeah, and the last quarter bracket, you got 4 guys all ranked, 3 7 or less. Number 4 and 7, Klauser and Pops. This is his 3rd trip to state. Took his first loss, and not the draw you wanted. Klauser was a qualifier last year also. That should be a real good Friday night match. Chase Leach, Silas Fry. Leach had a real good day. Obviously, he took out both Detweiler and Russell. So beat 2 guys with state medals on his way to put himself in a solid position. I mean, no matter where you're getting put here, there are going to be some good matches. So this is his 3rd trip to state. So some guys with a little bit of state experience, but no state medals.
Yeah, I think I started the bottom part. Leach looked really good at the Al Smith. I thought he wrestled real solid. That's Russell's only loss. Fry came as a 4, right? He's a 4 over a 1 that worked his way through the bracket at Newcastle. Russell's in that Greenfield Central room, which is always really good. I'm really excited for Klauser to be back and be healthy. It was really tough watching him like last year and how much he's put in. I think I don't know the Center Grove records, but it looks like he's had a really good career for those guys. Seems like the family is really good. Pop's really solid. Just looks strong. He's a strong kid, man. Real solid, in your face. That's probably, like, you're right. That's probably not the draw you want with Klauser on Friday night.
Anything, Big Bentz? Who's your picks?
I'm just kind of looking back, man. It looked like Klauser and Costello was a 6-2 match when he got that injury default at the Al Smith. Man, I like to see Clouser get through there. I don't know. A South guy. I'll root for Clouser, but not the best draws having Leach in the quarters and then Russell in the semis.
Yeah, did Clouser? I don't know if Clouser and Russell wrestled last year. I mean, it seemed like they would, but that could be an exciting match. I mean, kind of matchup styles, different styles there. I got Costello in top bracket, and then Russell Clouser, the winner of that, to the finals.
Let's see. Did they wrestle anywhere last year? Let's see.
I think.
Yeah.
They probably.
Oh no, it was Braxton Russell. He wrestled Braxton Russell.
Yeah, he wrestled Braxton Friday night.
Yes. So that's the only Russell he wrestled last year. So.
Okay.
Yep. I'm picking the Railroader. A little bit more of a. I mean, I think Leach can do it, and gotta root for your hometown folks, and I think Costello Emrine will be a good match. That could be a real good one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Do we give a? I mean,
let's do a South rematch. We'll do Emrine Clouser. I'll go with it. Why not?
Ooh, I'm gonna go.
Then I'm gonna go Costello Russell. If you're going Emrine Clouser, I'll go the opposite.
I'll go Costello Leach rematch Al Smith finals.
It's just the hat. The hat's just permeating to my brain.
Yeah. Oh jeez. You're gonna start jumping rope here soon.
That's what happens when you get a team in Team State. They take care of you. I told Coop, man, he owes me some stuff because Floyd dialed it in for me.
Yeah. I mean, you're the one that's been touting the South this whole time, getting teams into Team State. You got to help them out. They got to help you out.
And then they just win. Maybe I should have some seeding power with that because,
Right.
Hashtag South wins championships.
I think we can probably make that happen, man.
We know somebody. We can put you on the committee. We know some people here. You were just on a show an hour ago, actually 2 hours ago. So 165 is our next one. And speaking of Adams County, he's starting out Duke Myers, 4-time state qualifier and 2-time state medalist, looking for his third. You got Emilio Tirado from Lake Central, Xavier Smith, Jesse Daringer, a rematch of the HCC. I think it was a 15-10 match, so that might be a good one on Friday night with Smith winning, hence why he's ranked higher. So, what do you see here, Mr. Mike?
Duke Meyer having a really good career. I mean, Tirado, I think we said it last week when we did the East Chicago. There's always a Lake Central guy that's double-digit losses that makes a run. And he run a really good tick-around match where he came from behind to get the dub. Grinder, man, just a kid that stayed in your face for 6 minutes. So, did he wrestle with Meyer at Al Smith? I know Tirado ended up placing. We might have ran into each other.
Let's see.
Luke's doing a really good job there with those guys. Like I said, anytime you can get a guy to the state finals that has 13 losses, it's pretty impressive. Smith, real tough sophomore, and Daringer. Brownsburg, they got to start getting some of those dubs where they're in those toss-up matches, and Derek's done a good job of that. I think he has a pretty nice winning percentage Friday night. But that's a guy they're probably hoping, but I know Smith's had a really good season.
Any comments, Dustin?
Nah, Duke Myers, man. I can't. I got Dane, and I'm bunking with the Belmont guy, so I don't want to get kicked out of my hotel room at the Bally's. So
you're drinking the Belmont Kool-Aid this weekend?
It's called hams, Joe.
It's called hams. Nice. So going down, you got Anthony Reinhardt against Ethan Smith, Coy Bender, Terre Haute South, Zach Huckabee for Perry Meridian. Perry Meridian kept their streak alive. I know it was kind of close, and hopefully no feelings were hurt with my article, but it'll be interesting. Reinhardt having a real good year, no losses in state. So his last loss in state was to the scale. So
that's right. He's already beat that opponent. So
yeah, so far. I mean, that guy's always lurking in the background. Dude, he's wrestling really good. I think we've said it a couple times when you have a guy that's really good in the top position that can turn dang near anybody in the state. He's really tough. He wrestles a style where he's going to get takedown and turn people. Ranked number 1 for a reason. Bender Huckabee, that'd be a good one. I thought Bender looked really good at Team State. Just kind of watching the matches when I was watching Terre Haute South, just because I was at home with a bad back, and I wanted to click him on because I haven't seen a lot of Terre Haute South this year, and I thought he was really impressive. So that'll be a pretty good one. Huckabee's been there a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. This is Huckabee's second one.
Third time to state, right?
Yeah, third time.
Yeah, that's hard to go against that. So
third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So bottom half bracket, Waylon Kressel. Only losses to Reinhardt, Oliver Hallett from Indian Creek, Isaac Sinks, Harrison via Kansas, and Cabe Stebbins from Delta. So everyone's ranked in the top 8 in this quarter bracket. So you got 6-7 losses between all 4. Should be pretty good here.
Yeah, excellent quarter bracket. It's hard to go against Crystal, but Hallett's looked really good. I've watched it. He's now in our sectional, so I've watched it the last 3 weekends. He got the 4 just in that tough bracket there with the other guys. Who will get to Rowdybush in a minute. Rowdybush looks real good, but I think Crystal Hallett will be a good match there.
Yeah, that'd be a good Friday night match. Kressel, he looked really good at the Al Smith. His only loss is to Reinhardt in a pretty good match. It'll be interesting to see if they made any adjustments. I think they went underneath, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of like they thought. It's good to see them early to see if where you're going to be at with that. Maybe they make those adjustments there. Stevens is wrestling really good. He's got a couple wins over Duke this year. I think Duke's taken the last 2. Sinks is a returning medalist from Kansas, right?
Yeah, 5th placer.
You look pretty good Saturday. I think that's a tough one Friday night. I think Stevens has been wrestling really good. So that'd be an interesting matchup of 2 guys that might have been, if Kressel wins and Steven, 2 guys that were kind of in the semi-state out there, right? Yeah. Could have been in the Fort Wayne semi-state.
They could, Fort Wayne semi-state could have been real loaded.
You said it on the show. Kind of crazy that you got 2 brothers that are wrestling at different schools, right?
Yeah, one at Warren Central, one at Wabash. They only go to schools that start with W.
I think, my geography is not great. Are they close?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought so. I've been to Wabash.
And I don't know this, but O'Neill came from Wabash. Maybe that's something.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the coach at Wabash, right? He's from Ben Davis.
Yeah. He coached their oldest brother, Noah. That was a state placer. I think he was 3rd his senior year. So yeah. So that should be interesting. Going down, you got battle 2 guys that used to be in the Fort Wayne semi-state. Both were qualifiers last year. Levi Abbott, Brant Beck. You got Evan Rowdy Bush and James Dozier from Roncalli. So, some pretty good matches there, too.
Man, Rowdy Bush looked so good last weekend. Just really good. I think I hit did he hit for a legal slam or something in the finals? But maybe a stalling or something at the end. But, man, he has looked so good. I have Rowdy Bush. I know he lost to Kressel 3-1 at the Al Smith, but I got Rowdy Bush coming out of that bottom bracket.
I got Rowdy Bush coming out there too. I was actually really impressed with Brant Beck. I think he has a real good motor. Tax. Did they wrestle last year, Abbott and Beck?
I will check. Let me get back with you.
That Kraus just says 1-1 against each other last year.
Nice. I thought he looked really good at East Chicago. I thought his attacks looked good. He's got a real good motor. But Rowdy, you're right. Rowdy Bush looked awesome. He looked awesome at Al Smith. I thought he made a run. I know he beat Duke there also. So, but I like that. I want to hear them hit that Rowdy Bush name on there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That match between Rowdy Bush and Kressel was really close. Kind of, Al Smith. You kind of was thinking Kressel's dominated pretty much everyone other than Roddy Bush and Reinhardt this year. And then he's, like we said earlier, he beat Bray Emrine. That's his only loss. And I think he majored him. So he's been pretty dominant. And then Roddy Bush kind of shut him down a little bit, it was a kind of a late, kind of scrambly takedown that was, real good match. So that'd be fun to run that one back. Heck, you could have the semifinals for Al Smith run that right back again. So,
oh yeah, those top 4, man, and it just kind of tells you how tough that tournament is.
Yeah, and obviously that's a common theme we'll probably mention, as our friend Mr. Frank Doster asked about this weekend. Yeah, I'll go Kressel and Reinhardt. We'll run that back.
Yeah, I'm going Kressel Reinhardt too. I got Reinhardt for a title.
Roddy Bush Reinhardt.
Southern pride.
Usually
South will rise again.
Easy. Wow. No, I don't know about that. The river's rising. That's what we've been starting to say down in Madison. The river's rising.
We're going to go 44. 144. That's 38. There we go. We got 144. So Beck's wrestle. Oh, yeah, I forgot. They did wrestle at... So he has beaten... Yeah, he's beaten Abbott twice. It was 4-3 and then an injury default. So that's gonna, that'll be interesting. Who can make the adjustments? I had forgotten. Thank you, Mr. Brady. So yeah, that should be interesting to see. I mean, a 4-3 match, and now you got a lot more on the line there. So, if the river's rising, better get a boat. Hey, Dustin, if the river is rising, get a boat at least, so you don't drown.
Dude, that's good advice.
Or the other popper saying, burn the boats, right? The river's rising, we're going to burn the boats. I'm just going to put all the cliches together. See what happens.
Don't burn the boats if the river's rising.
Nah, man, that means you can't turn back, man. You just got to go forward.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cortez, man.
Rise that fast. So, you got a good quarter bracket at 144. Czar Walker, Marlon Williams. First round, and Colton Ballenbacher from South Adams, the Starfires. Parker Reynolds from Brownsburg. So you could have another Brownsburg-Mishawaka match in the quarterfinals here. That'll be a good one. Reynolds wrestling well right now and having a real good sophomore year. Punched his ticket, and Walker had a real good day yesterday or Saturday.
You want to start off, Bees?
Hey, I heard the night on the radio when I was with Dane and Rex that Bullenbacher, the first father-son state finalist combo from South Adams. His dad qualified in 2000. So, congrats to Colton Bullenbacher on that and the Bullenbacher family.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But I'm jazzed to see Parker and Czar Walker Saturday morning in the quarters. Like, that's going to be a great match.
Yeah, I think congratulations to Ballenbacher. I think that is really cool. I'm happy to see, like, I know we talked about it a lot this year. It's really cool to see where Parker's at, where he was like at last year injury wise, right? And I know we did an article early on. I think it was the first article.
Yeah.
I think they might be doing a second article with a paper. So if you guys get the paper, man, keep your eyes peeled, maybe. But I think that's a really cool story. I know he's wrestled pretty tough. I don't know where they thought he'd be at. Kind of talking with his dad a little bit and just where he was going to be at mentally and physically. And it's a struggle, man. That's a guy that's been on the national scene for a long time. Like, not just like winning ISWA titles, but that's a guy that has national credentials that, like, he had to kind of rebuild that up in a year. With that said, Czar wrestled amazing on Saturday. I know there was a lot of people on our message board talking about, Jeffrey Hyvert's the lock. Like, it's a lock. Don't even, 144 is locked up. And that's, Czar wrestles really well at East Chicago. I know he won the semi-state last year pretty impressively. That's the best I've seen him wrestle this year. I think, Coach Sandifer's got him peaking at the right time. His reattacks are some of the best. If you go back and watch that match at 144, him and Hyvert, just how quick he is. I know he spent a lot of time this summer at, the OTC getting better. He's a guy that, he can catch fire and win that bracket.
Yeah, definitely. He's one that, we've seen the potential. And, if he's clicking at the right time, it's a scary opponent. Going down,
he's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah,
like he's just a matchup nightmare.
Christian Arbery, Warren Central, Avery Stanley, Rensselaer Central. You got Branson Weaver of Owen Valley, second time there, versus Brody Hagewood. Pronounce that correct. So they were both state qualifiers last year, so one will get a state medal this time. And so that should be a good, real good quarter bracket. Arbery did not, and Hagewood did not meet up at the Al Smith per IndianaMat.com. And so that should be a good one. Stanley was not a qualifier. I keep thinking Stanley was a qualifier, but he wasn't. But that should be a good one. Good quarter bracket.
So I had a real interested girl at practice about Avery Stanley's draw. So when we were watching the show, we got a girl from Rensselaer. She knows him. So I guess they're giving her a hard time last week. I think I said that she had to go find her room if he qualified. They were giving her a hard time on the wrestling team. She wrestled. She was a qualifier. Arbery is really good, man. He's solid. I think if you're gonna he's a guy that's not gonna give up a lot of points. He stays in position well. I think we've seen those in those Reese Courtney matches that have gone to overtime. He's not afraid to throw guys. That's how he beat Walker. That's Walker's solo loss. Kind of got to was double unders and body locked him OT. They said Weaver's real funky. They said he's doing a lot of high level funky stuff. And Hagler likes to score points, so that could be a pretty good Friday night matchup. Or those guys maybe go do some stuff that's going to be pretty exciting. I know they're saying they're calling for Jonesies and cutbacks and a lot of different stuff when he was wrestling Reynolds.
Stanley had a brother that qualified, right, Mike?
There was a Stanley that qualified. I'm not sure if they're brothers.
Okay, that's what Spikes was saying. What's your thoughts here?
Actually, Spikes is my guy, man.
I mean, Weaver's only loss is to Reynolds, but I don't know if Owen Valley probably wrestles the schedule Warren Central does, so I like Arbery coming out of there for sure. Some great Saturday morning matches there, though. Some great semifinal matches. 44 is really, I mean, we said it all year, really a wide open bracket. So.
Yep.
Reese Courtney would say otherwise. So, bottom half bracket.
I got Mike Spencer. This is my guy, man. He coaches with me. He said they're cousins. Cousins. Mike would know. He's a Rensselaer guy.
Okay.
They might be watching the show together right now. I know they're watching the Super Bowl together.
So, last half bracket got Reese Courtney, Center Grove, Emilio Liscano from Oak Hill, Bryce Doss making a return to state, a few pounds heavier, and Jeffrey Hybert. Ooh, there's some spice here.
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey taking his first loss in the semi-state. It's probably not the matchup Doss was looking to get. When you're looking for twos, you probably don't want the guy that just set the state takedown record, right?
Yeah. Right.
We have not, Michelle Stevens, we have not covered 38. Or we're only talking about, no, I don't know when it's going to get there. We just did a randomized one. Courtney and Liscano. Hey, congratulations, Liscano. I know he was in the rankings. I know Oak Hill took a lot of guys to the semi-state. Again, when you're a 4 and in this weight with the top 4 there, you're going to get a really tough guy. Then you get the rematch of last year's state semifinals. That was a barn burner. I think there was a pretty close call where Courtney got it, and I think they argued it, but it went Courtney's way till it got him under the lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I saw that. That was one ooh, that's gonna be fun. And that, as you know, team, even though you don't want to write off Center Grove as being someone that can, make it interesting with the team race. That we said. Momentum is a thing in wrestling, and if Center Grove kids start rolling, they have 10 guys there. They start rolling, it's going to get ugly. They have just as much. They have some guys that they have to win some. Win a big match like that. That's going to keep things rolling. So that's how things work sometimes. We've seen it numerous times at state. The team starts just getting hot, and you get one win and 1 or 2 wins, and it starts rolling. So, Dustin, what's your commentos?
Man, I'm gonna catch flack. I'm gonna go with Hogart. I can't even say his name right, but I think he wins. I think he comes to that quarter bracket.
That'd be wild. I mean, that's like one of those matches. I was kind of talking with someone. Reynolds has lost to Courtney the last couple of weeks. What if someone were to take him out and they get under the lights and then Reynolds wins it? He kind of does the Jason Woodson. What was it? Chase.
No,
The Frank kid.
Yeah, Woodson couldn't beat Baker, right?
Yeah. Couldn't beat Baker. And then Hector Mendez, Andre Hernandez. You see it a lot. Like someone else takes your guy out, and then you go win a state title. So not that like Reynolds can't beat Courtney, but I mean, if Hyvert takes that one, and then who knows? I mean, still a loaded bracket.
Yeah. So the bottom quarter bracket: Marlon Kirksey from Maryville, Dylan Graham, Cathedral. That will be a real good match right there. And then Easton Doster, Gabe Rose, first state qualifier for the Pacers.
Yeah,
Not
congratulations.
Switzerland County.
Let's go, man.
Hey, that's kind of what you. So, Gabe lost to Cameron Cooper 3 times this year, including sectionals and regionals. But Rose gets a deal from Gibson Southern, or I'm sorry, Deacon Dressler from Gibson Southern, and then Cooper draws Parker Reynolds in the ticket round. So Rose was able to take advantage of a better draw and punch that ticket to state. So congrats to Gabe Rose and the Switzerland County Pacers on that.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. I think we talked about it last week, man, and I know that you were kind of telling a lot of those guys, and they had some guys that wrestled really tough, and it wasn't just good records. They had some guys that were really good, and they just got some really hard draws. And they have some young guys that are really good too. So congratulations to Gabe Rose. We're a big Easton Doster fan on the show. I think his dad's wrapping Christmas presents allegedly.
Still,
yeah, pretty good athlete. Again, another guy that I'm happy to see him having a healthy season. I know he had some injury problems like last year. Being healthy is a big thing. I know he came up to the region and trained a little bit with the Stanleys. That'd be a good one. And then Marlon Kirksey and Dylan Graham, 2 pretty prestigious programs. I do not think they wrestled at Al Smith, right?
They did not.
They did not. Dylan Graham making his 3rd trip to the state finals, also having a pretty healthy year. We know the winning percentage. I think David probably has a pretty high winning percentage also, but we know that McGinley has the highest winning percentage of Friday night matches, which is pretty crazy for the amount of guys they put there.
Yeah, did we mention that? That I think we did last week, didn't we? That McGinley has 97 state placers right now, so he is 3 away from being from having 100 state placers, which is absolutely crazy. So what is Maldonado? He only wins a mere 63% of the time on Friday night.
Is that good or bad?
That's really good. That is of current or of all time coaches, I believe. It appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Top 9, 9th in all time, from what I can tell. So I mean, and McGinley's leading with 76%. He has 97 total placers. So. That's
so we have some pretty high percentages Friday night.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Coach Gable had 60. He had 1/3, 66.67%. So pretty good. He had, yeah, pretty good to say the least.
And those numbers are good, the idea that those guys are not just getting that's like 3 out of 10, or we got 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. It's like, hey, we're getting out of 100. McGinley is out of 100.
127. 97 out of 127 qualifiers placed on Friday night.
It's pretty good.
It's just ridiculous. Snyder's
and then they're like,
87.
Hey,
go ahead.
They're like, hey, where should we send our kid? Take him to the guy that's winning every night on Friday night.
Yeah. And that article will be coming out later this week. And I know it always stirs up a little bit of, some heat. And I'm like, and I think it was a McGill or either you and McGill were on top of that. Like, dude, you guys didn't have anything other than just seeing it every year. It's like Cathedral it's like McGinley in the chair there. wants to win. I mean, or he wins on Friday night. There's no doubt. And you guys didn't have any data on it, but just like, man, there's something. So I put the data together, and man, spot on.
It's when you're doing your pick, and this is a little pick'em's tip. Like you look at that list, and you're like, okay, well these guys win a lot.
Yeah.
Like you have a pretty high percentage to win that match, right? And then now you got two guys that are 60+ percentage on a Friday night. And Marlon Kirksey is a guy. Even though they felt like on our YouTube stream they felt like we were being disrespectful last week, and I thought we were really respectful, honestly. That was one of the we're gonna go to the corner and have grievances and read mean tweets. And who we're sleeping on or who we're not picking to win. Like I hope that like the motivation isn't coming from like our picks that we're making on the thing here, because that might even be our picks for the pick'ems, but that'll be a good Friday night matchup.
Yep. So, any comments there, Dustin?
I'll take Doster out of that bottom quarter bracket. I mean, he's having a good year, 35-0. Graham Doster in the quarters. I just don't know who to take in the finals, man. Like, it's a crazy, crazy weight. I think I'm gonna make everybody in the South mad when I go with I don't know, Arbery and Hobart in the finals. Why not?
I can't even believe that, man. I'm going with Reese Courtney, Parker Reynolds for the title. Let's go.
Man, true Southerner.
Pulling up. Look at this, man. I got me a Brownsburg shirt. I'm just joking. I'm trying to get that Red Cobra Contenders gear down the state.
Yeah. I'm going to Reynolds.
It never allows me to gamble on a boat because I never go with the logical picks. I always want to see the big picks win.
I'm going to go with Reynolds and Doster match. I got to give Fort Wayne some love here. Reynolds, Doster, Courtney and whoever wins out of Courtney and Hyvert, they're so tired. They're looking towards the finals, and Doster gets them. So that's my pick.
Doster Reynolds, is that what you said?
Yeah.
We're going to have to go down and write these down so when we're sitting there, we can see who's right and who's wrong. I'm going to have to rewatch the recording or something.
Yeah, you gotta document this. So, 138 is next. So, Michelle, you got lucky.
Real Michelle Stevens.
So, Kyrell Lavelle, Warren Central, Taden Chambers, West Noble, Chase Stevens. I think that Michelle lady might know him. And Luke Reed, 10 and 11. Luke Reed, the Pan Am Jiu-Jitsu champion of the world. So, threw that out there.
I don't know if it's of the world. I think it's just of like the North American like states, right?
Yeah.
Like Mexico.
North American
Caribbean.
countries.
The Pan American, yeah.
Yes.
I think that's right.
Yeah. But if that includes like Brazil, doesn't it? So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's like
Pan Ams, are they?
What? Yeah, they're
I think
Pan
Brazil.
Ams. It's all like, or no? Yeah, it's all North and South America.
Okay, maybe.
And
if you want
and even Central.
Brazil in there, it's pretty good. That's even more impressive.
That's like saying you're beating Russia in wrestling. So, anyway, Lavelle looking real good and probably in a good spot to at least get his 4th state medal, one of only 2. So, he's in a good spot here, I think.
Yeah, real good spot. That'll be a good Friday night match. Chase Stevens and Luke Reed. Luke Reed had dealt with some injuries. His 2 losses, Clinton Shepard. He looked really good Saturday. I think he's had a good run. I know he ran into a real tough tick around last year. Real big RWA kid. Chase Stevens, real tough, man. A guy we talked about last week where we were talking about they were messaging you and then he backed it up, right? And then you come back around and now as a junior you're 39-2. And you backed it up again and you put yourself in a position. I wouldn't sleep on the winner of that match in Lavelle, the next match, because I think that's a match that could be an upset.
Yeah, I mean, Stevens' 2 losses are to Ison and Hockaday. So, I mean, 2 pretty good L's to take there. So, Lavelle Stevens Saturday morning. Let's go, man. That's why we wrestle these matches.
So as long as Lavelle doesn't come out with a purple singlet on, he has a little bit better chance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's getting late. You can't throw 2 wild jokes like that at me.
So, next quarter bracket, Tony Wood, Blake Jones, and then Wesley Smith, Justice Thornton, Smith was a medalist last year. Thornton was a 4 after getting hurt. So, and then Wood, this is his 4th trip to state. He has a state medal, so should be a pretty good quarter bracket. Thornton and Wood did not wrestle at the ECIC, did they? They're at different weights, weren't they?
If there's only a website for that, right?
There is.
I heard they released a really cool state finals media guide today.
Yes, they did. So, no, they did not wrestle. Where is Thornton?
Thornton Smith would be a really good one Friday night. Smith's 2 lost her to Shepard. Al Smith, it was not very close. It was closer on Saturday. I don't think, not that it was like a 1-point match. Wesley Smith, one of the Mike Reiser's top guys that he likes to watch compete. Those dudes just wrestle hard. He's a hard wrestling kid. He goes forward. He's going to be, not that he's a mean kid, but he wrestles aggressive. He's going to be heavy on the head. That'll be a good one. Blake Jones having a really good season, kind of flying under the radar a little bit. And then Tony Wood, 44-0. I think the most, probably less talked about 44-0 in the state. Like, I think in this weight class, you're talking IC, you're talking Shepard, you're talking Lavelle, and Tony's just doing work, 44-0, had a really good summer, really good career for Jay County. The Patriots, right? The big Patriot.
Yes, the big Patriot. Right, I wonder if they're going to bring him to state.
They had to get 2 tickets, and they had to pay the extra processing fee on Ticketmaster, and you can't buy Saturday tickets tonight, so the Giants got to take up 2 spots. I heard it's a debacle.
Yeah. Dude, hey, our tickets are probably just as much as the tickets are for regular seats.
I know. I did, and I didn't want to tell them. Like, when they were talking about that, and they were like this and this, and I'm like, man, I don't even want to tell them, guys.
Yeah, so thanks. Dustin looked us up. Dustin did the leg work. I just paid for him.
I used what connections I didn't have, and we came up with some premium seating. Justice Thornton will be the only person in the state finals with the personalized UFC warm-up gear. He's got the black and gold UFC warm-up that says Thornton on it. Like, I don't know if he's got a under-the-table NIL deal there with Dana or what, but he looks pretty sharp in his UFC warm-ups.
Ooh, that might be a good, because the Smith family, they're not afraid of fighting.
No, I think they like to fight. I think they're hybrid athletic, right?
Yes. They like to fight. So maybe we can just have a UFC fight there. I mean,
I know Sunday we'll have them in a little cage fight action.
Yeah. So
then we got Luke Reed in there too, a jiu-jitsu champ. This could be like a whole fight bracket.
I believe someone gave me the word that I think it was Wesley and Luke Reed had a jiu-jitsu match and Wesley beat him. So
really,
I mean, yeah, we could have. I mean, do we just want to do this a UFC half bracket? I mean,
that's bracket we're trying to do UFC Saturday, right? Some of the guys in this bracket were trying to UFC it last Saturday already.
No comment. No. Yeah. So, bottom half of the bracket. Brady Eisen Brownsburg having a real good senior year, looking for his 3rd state medal, and been there 4 times. Josh England, Laporte, turned on at the right time. I know last year he had some good wins, kind of fell off, and then I think he kind of just didn't get going to the right time, and now he's at state, so that's pretty good for him. Jalen Covington, Pendleton Heights, and Lincoln Carter from Eastside. Eastside's last state placer was when Mike wasn't even in high school. 96.
Oh, I thought they had one in the. Where was that dude from? That Jackson. He wore the headband. Like a 171. I thought he was Eastside. Was it a different East something?
Eastbrook. Jackson Bratcher.
Yep, Eastbrook.
Oh
man.
Yeah. So the token Pendleton Heights Eastside match. Carter having a real good sophomore year. Got a lot of matches, so that should be a pretty solid quarter bracket. Mike did not do well with the rankings here. 2 guys without rankings.
Oh, we got Covington and England. England was in the rankings to start off the year. Sometimes the preseason rankings are better than the final ones because I put a little bit less, results into it and just more thought. I mean, for people that think I'm making opinions here. England had a win over Sessa this summer. Brady Eisen's really good. He's had a really good career. However it finishes up, I mean, I think that, you have to look back and just say, how good his career has been and how well he's done. So Covington and Lincoln Carter, I'm a Lincoln Carter fan. I think those guys do a good job. I think they're building something over there. They have 4 or 5 guys that were right on the cusp, either in the rankings or right outside the rankings. That were probably in the ticker round. I think they're doing some good stuff over there at East Side.
Yeah.
Not Eastbrook. I don't know what Eastbrook's doing, but East Side for sure.
Any comments on your Southern friend, Ison? I don't see you with a Brownsburg hat on, so.
Nah, but Brady Ison gets through there. I mean, I think he's had a great year, great career. We'll see. Well, has he lost to Shep once or twice? So we'll see.
Twice.
Shep Ison 3 in the semis.
Yep. Cam Dews, Elkhart, having a real good senior year. Kind of came out of, was he really on the radar even coming in the season? I know he made the semis at.
Nah, I didn't have him early on. I forgot he wrestled someone early on. We always talk about it's not always wins that get you on the radar. Like sometimes it's just wrestling good matches and you're just there, and then you kind of backtrack and see what you've done. And he was a guy that I forget who he wrestled early on. He had a really good match with somebody that put him right in the mix, and then he's had a good season. 38-5, wrestled really well at Al Smith. So kind of just kept it going.
He has Gavin
Once
Whitehead.
you get that ranking, holding on to it, the hard part.
Yeah. Gavin Whitehead of Newcastle. I think Whitehead might be kind of overlooked in this weight class. He has a state medal. Obviously, he's looking at possibly hitting a Shepherd there, but he's one you can't overlook. Obviously, he's trading with some pretty good guys in the room with Ryan and them.
Johnny Hughes.
Yep, and Johnny Hughes. So, yes, that's going to be an interesting match. That could be an interesting match between him and Shepherd. Shepherd has Vander Lutgaren, the Crown Point Center Grove matchup there, and so that'll be an interesting one. But Shepherd could obviously be looking a little bit forward to an Ison match, and he can't overlook someone like Gavin Whitehead because he'll get after it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Shepherd.
Triple B, you want to apologize for Vander Lugaren for overlooking his victory over Seth Syra?
Oh, we talked about that, didn't we? Yeah, he ends up getting that. I didn't give him no love for that. I said I was going to stick with Syra until he proved himself. So he proved himself. So next year in the preseason rankings, I'll make sure he gets that ranking above Syra. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I think Shepherd's built different, man. Like, I know what you're saying, but he doesn't appear to overlook anybody. So I'm pretty pumped to see Shepherd, Lavelle in the finals. That's what I'm hoping. As a fan, I didn't get to see him wrestle at the Al Smith. So, give me Shep, Lavelle, and let it all shake out.
And I think one of the really cool things, and there was a lot of buzz coming in, and I really feel like Shepherd came out really quick, right? I don't think that early on he was the guy that was winning everything. And then probably a couple years ago, he started winning a lot of stuff. And then this past year, it just exploded. I think he's got some really good training techniques. I think he works really hard. It's talking to the guys that are, in the weight room with them. He works hard in the weight room. Good kid. If you follow the Crown Point guys, you can see that, the whole team's going to church every Sunday, going out to dinner. And I think he's a big part of that. Just, leading by example sometimes even as a freshman. I know talking to those guys, we were talking, they have real high praise for him even coming into high school. He's going to be the next Jesse. He just has that mentality that he doesn't back down. He goes at guys. He scores a ton of points. Some guys, you fear if they get caught that they don't have the gas to make it up. And I think that he's a guy that can score in a lot of different ways. Some of those falls, if you go back and you're like, oh, man, he's just pinning people. If you go back and watch those matches, he's getting 10 takedowns and pinning guys in a minute 43. And he's beaten some really good guys. His 3 losses, he took 2 at Ironman, and he lost to this other guy who's pretty solid, Bo Bassett. And I think, coming out of that, just kind of talking with those guys, and he was like, all right, man, now I know where my gas tank needs to be at. I want to, wrestle like that. I want that to be the pace I set. I think those guys have kind of slowed him down a little bit. Ison's kind of slowed him down a little bit. I think he wrestled Ison at Carnahan and kind of wrestled his match. I thought he opened it up a little bit hit a really nice inside trip at Team State. And then Lavelle kind of slowed him down. It was a really good match. But I think we saw it at Al Smith when Jesse wrestled Watts. It was a closer match, and then I think he separated a little bit the more comfortable he got in high school. So I think Shep's in the finals with Lavelle.
Yeah,
That's fine.
last year in the state finals, we were sitting next to each other, and we were already talking about Shep. Like, as the state finals were going on last year, like, where's Shep going to land next year? You know, will we get to see Shep Hockaday? We were talking about Shep Hockaday maybe last year at state.
Yeah, I think that would have been a really exciting matchup. I was hoping that Brownsburg kind of bumped there at Team State, and they ended up not doing it. Like, they didn't go that route. But I think that's an interesting match, and, I mean, that could be down the road. I don't think Shep's pulling a lot of weight. I know he lifts hard, and Jake generally jumps 2 weights. So that might be our 144 next year.
Hey.
You know, maybe a little of that, but he's worried about like winning. Like, I think when you start like stepping away and you stop talking about winning high school stuff and you start talking about national and like what you want to do in the biggest picture, I think you know, we always talk about like Stefan. Like when Stefan was a like junior, they're like he wants to be a world champion. And I remember thinking, I think Nick Lee was saying that too, like, oh, he wants to be a world champ. And I remember thinking, like, you're not even, Stefan's dad just did this great interview where he was like, you know, when he was losing when he was a kid, he's like, he wasn't the best kid in Cedar Lake, Indiana. You want to be a world champion? Like, and I think the guys that view it in that light are like doing different stuff. Like, they're not as worried about the Wednesday night dual meet as they're about getting better. And I think that's a very huge thing in developing wrestlers.
Yeah. Speaking of tech falls, you can check on the IndianaMat Twitter or the X. Sean Struck had a 42-second tech fall. Dustin, have you ever had a 42-second tech fall as a heavyweight?
I think I had a 59 seconds, so no.
I heard Shep's going 32 for U17s. I just got that text from my brother.
That's nice. That's
good. So, like I said, I don't think he's pulling a lot of weight. I mean, you can kind of see, like, Kyrell looked a lot bigger than him at Al Smith, and I think they said he was pretty strong, so he hit the weights pretty hard after that.
Yep. So, we're going to go, we'll probably be able to go another night tonight because we're only at weight number 6. Dustin, is there any weights you want to talk about? Anyone that you are being paid to talk about and hype that needs the hype?
Let's do 150 and let's do 126. How about that?
Okay, we can do 2 more.
I don't know why. I just randomized that one too. 150.
126 was actually the next one on the randomizer. So
Nice.
We'll do
26.
Or you must be the randomizer. We'll do 126 because this one's salty too.
Yeah.
Joe Clark just booed us.
Yeah.
He said, I wait up for this.
Don't worry, you'll be one of because we're gonna only have 6 weights. Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. We'll figure that out. In a minute. Whatever. 126. This is salty up top. Landon Hawkins, Neil Mosier. Mosier has 2 state medals. That's not a 4 you want. I don't care which champion you are. That's not the 4 you want. Gavin Bragg, Braylon Reynolds. That's not the 2 you want either because, you know, team race right there in the quarters. That's going to be, I saw that, you know, that's one of those ones, you know, shuffling through the brackets like, oh boy. And I was the only one in the room. I mean, I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. Yeah. So, Mike, let's, Dustin, you want to lead off? You can be the leadoff batter. You're more.
Nah, Mike, go ahead.
So I know Crown Point felt as if they got a bad draw here. Like, talking with those guys, and you know, Landon's not the guy. Landon says he is the bad draw, but, you know, they were like, you know, that's ridiculous. Like, we got to do this. And I was like, I mean, sometimes, you know, you got to take a step back and look and see that Schaefer beat those guys last week to put them on the opposite side of the bracket of him. So that's kind of how it works. Yeah, it's not an easy draw. I think that Mosier Hawkins is going to be a tight match. I think both those guys wrestle a pretty tight style. Hawkins a little bit more scramblier, if that's a word. Really, really, really clingy on top, man. Like, I haven't seen a lot of people get away from him. Like, when he's, like, trying to ride. Like, not like when he lets Evan Stanley go in the duel, which I thought was crazy. But I haven't seen a lot of guys just like straight out escape from him. And he's like very comfortable in those situations, which is weird. Like he's one of the most comfortable, like 1-0, like I'm on my hip, like holding on to a half, like just like looks like his heartbeat doesn't give over like anything. He just looks calm. We get to see Reynolds, Hawkins 3 possibly. I know Bragg's pretty solid. That'll be a good one Friday night. Senior and a freshman. Reynolds, Hawkins, both times have been really good matches. If you go back and watch Carnahan, which I'm sure if you have Flow, you can go watch. Real close takedown at the end. And then if you go back and watch Team State, like holy smokes, like you want to talk about like a scramble where a guy came out on top, ends up getting a cradle. And I think at some point Reynolds had both of his legs hooked, like in a double almost. And like Hawkins had to turn the corner and got a cradle and put him to his back.
Yeah. In a funky cradle.
He has something that you just can't teach.
Yeah. He had like the funkiest cradle ever. And I'm like, and the ref was like, is he scoring points here? Is he? It was weird. And the ref probably waited about 5 seconds before he started counting because he's like, that was not honestly, as a ref, I would not want to touch that match in the quarters. So hopefully they can get the a good crew there because that's gonna be funky. It's gonna be heated. There's a team race right there. I mean, as we said earlier, semifinals are huge. And so, what do you think, Dustin?
Man, I think Mosier's the bracket buster, man. Friday night round of the gates, a senior medalist. I think he throws the team race into chaos with that win, and then Braylon Reynolds gets it in the quarters to get to the semis. If for nothing else, let's get it so we can get some team race drama going early. So, I like Mosier Reynolds, and I like Reynolds going to the semis.
Woo! I like it.
And I'll be sitting next to Mike, so if any Crown Point people, just you got to go through Mike to get to me, I guess.
Oh man, I'll be a buffer. I think he's a guy too, like much like DeMarco. If he hears this and he doesn't agree with you, he'll let you know. You might be hearing like, "Thanks, Dustin Bentz."
Same thing I heard last weekend, so whatever.
The only time Landon didn't talk trash is when I had Rocco bring him a third place medal before after he lost in the semis. Actually, no. It was that IPO. I don't think he'd lost yet.
Yeah.
And Rocco, I was like, "Hey, Rocco, go take that." And he just looked. I know what he said to me. He didn't say that to Rocco. He's afraid of him.
He's definitely a guy that'll let you know. Like Bill will say, "Hey, from Landon, your rankings are wrong. He's gonna prove you wrong." Like, okay, like thanks, man.
So the bottom quarter bracket just as salty. Braden Daniels, Union City. Hey, Mike, what do you think about Braden Daniels?
Man, I know it now. They didn't catch me off guard on the Haggard Christians High School Wrestling Weekly this time. They're like, "What do you think about small school?" Killed it, man. Went out and won a semi-state, man. Congratulations.
Yep, avenged the loss. Wrestled real well. Pretty impressed with him. So, wrestled well at the right time. Honestly, this is again probably not the draw. I mean, you could almost see 2 4-over-1s in this top half bracket. I mean, no one would be crazy surprised. I mean, 5 over a 2 is not surprising. A 12 over an unranked, not surprising. So if you want to look at rankings, that's not a. I think you do a pretty good job at it. That wouldn't be surprising. Dylan Bennett, this is his 3rd time to state, and looking for a state medal. And then you got Luke Rio, who has a state medal. Eli Brody has a state medal, right?
The medal is a qualifier, right?
There's a qualifier. Yeah, so that's a good quarter bracket right there. Another good quarter bracket.
Yeah, it's good, man. I hope Rio, and I've seen Rio wrestle a bunch, but he really impressed me Saturday. He teched undefeated Peyton Richards in the ticket round, and I've watched Peyton Richards wrestle since he was 5 years old, and I've never ever seen him kind of treated like that. So, Luke's grown and continues to grow and get better and better every week. Every time he steps on the mat, man, he just continues to impress me. So, I'll take Luke Rio there.
Yeah, a couple guys missed the state finals last year, too. Dylan Bennett lost to Sonny Sessa at the East Chicago semi-state, and Rio didn't qualify last year either, right? Lost in the ticket round.
Yeah.
So looking to change that. I think Bennett's pretty slick. I know he's always putting guys on their back, and I think Penn have him ready to go. But yeah, I agree. I think Rio to the semis there.
Yeah, if you look
Brayden
at
Daniels
this,
will be in the rankings in next year. So if you're pre-ordering the preseason magazine, he will definitely be in the rankings.
if you look at what Hawkins, if Hawkins would make the finals, if he would win a state title, it would be likely that he would beat the 5, 4, 3, and the 1.
Yeah.
I was talking to his mom on Saturday, and she said, he gives her a lot of gray hair. I feel like this is like, if you're the Hawkins family, you're just sitting back like, yeah, this is probably the bracket you would get, right? If you had to win it, you had to win all these tight matches. They're all, I guarantee they're all going to be really tight, nail-biting matches.
Yes. Yeah. So if you would run that gauntlet, I would almost say that might be the MVP of the state finals. Honestly, I mean that just run that gauntlet, and it's all those guys are tough as nails. All of them have state medals. So going down, Gunnar Butt returns to the state finals. Phineas Douglas from the Highlanders of Floyd Central. Lane Horn, Rochester, took his first loss in the semis to LT Hawkins, and he has Cody Rawless from Jay County, another Rochester, going against their former semi-state. Let's see if they're gonna do the Fort Wayne semi-state dirty there.
I thought Lane looked really good Saturday. Lost 2-0 to Hawkins. I know a lot of people talk about Hawkins' top game. I think his bottom game's better. I think he does some stuff where he ends up on top a lot. So like you get rode for a period, you're like, well, now I'm gonna ride him, and then he gets you in a reversal and you're back underneath him. If high school had riding time, it'd be tough. Lane went underneath them. I actually thought he was gonna go neutral. Even when it was 0-0, I was like, all right, he's probably gonna choose neutral. He went underneath, got rode, and then gave up a reversal. So that'll be an interesting one. I could see Lane coming out of this quarter bracket and being in the semis. Probably a better draw than he had last year, having Nate Rio Friday night.
Yeah.
And then Gunnar Butt, Flynn Douglas. I know Flynn had dealt with some injuries last year. Sounded like he dealt with some injuries a little bit this year. But congratulations to him. I know he was on the watch list. He has a chance to, he's going to be in a master to get a ticket or a medal, so that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, I think Douglas Butt will be a good match. I mean, I'm not saying Butt doesn't win, but I think Douglas will give him a really good match. So that'll be a competitive match. But Horns, hands down the cream of the crop right there. So Horns comes out of that quarter bracket.
So they did not wrestle at Team State. It does not appear. So just checking that. So then the last quarter bracket, you got Drew Walden DeKalb making a second trip to state. Matthew Maldonado from Maryville. Number 1, Isaiah Schaefer, and Peter Wynn of Guerin Catholic making his third trip to state. And not a good draw for him to try to get a state medal.
No, not at all. You want to go ahead?
Oh, we said last week Schaefer, both losses are to Rainey. That's correct?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get a.
Hey man, we got a
spammer. That's what we have. Give me a second.
Thank you, Johnny 5-0. It's appropriate we get to the modern day Guerin Catholic, and we get this guy popping in here. So.
Yes, I am blocking him right now. So don't worry. I just got to get to it. So go ahead, Dustin.
Schaefer looks really good. A Schaefer Maldonado match, just for history's sake, right? Like that'd be a pretty cool match Saturday. But Schaefer's look good. I mean, I think Schaefer comes out of that bottom bracket. He got a pretty good draw in terms of rankings. Like we're talking about LT's draw versus Schaefer draw. Schaefer will, walk into the finals. While whoever comes out of that top bracket will come crawling into the finals. So just for that, I think Schaefer's the favorite to win the bracket.
Yeah, I think, the champ over there, I think you're looking at But I really do feel like Schaefer did the work this week to put himself in that position, right?
Yeah.
And Peter Wynn's really good. He's been there a couple times. Drew Walden's been there last year. Matthew Maldonado's a grinder, man. He's going to wrestle you hard for 6 minutes. He's going to be in your face. I know that they're not big on like switching the way the seeding go, like the finals go. But man, I think if I were the IHSA, again, I'm not. I have zero affiliation with the IHSA. They don't listen to anything I say. I feel like if Schaefer's in the finals, like this might be the only time they have it at Evansville. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have Modern Day in the finals in the last match? Like, I think that'd just be kind of a cool thing. Me personally, I know if it plays out like that, like, but I think it wouldn't be hard to just say, hey, and then I think you're going to have a lot of people. And Dustin, you wrestled heavyweight. You wrestled in like, hey, we're getting out here, we're going to beat traffic. And I don't know if it affects you or how you feel about it, but like if you have Schaefer the last match there, if he's under the lights, that place is going to be packed. And whether it's going to be like your casual fan, you're going to have a lot of modern day people there still at the end, like, and a lot of excitement going. I think that's, to me, I feel like that's how it is. I always look back, like if you put Red and Lee the last match that year, like no one would have left. Like they would have stayed to the end. And the NCAA has done a good job of that, having that highlight match. And like I said, now that it's an event, like, do you want people watching half your show or do you want people watching the whole show?
Yeah, especially early on at 126, which is the fourth weight. So
yeah.
So
we still want to do 150.
Yeah, we can. It's up to you, Dustin. I'm ready to go, man. I'm out here drinking Coca-Cola.
Yeah, let's do it, man. This is I won't be back on the rest of the week, so let's end with 150, and then Triple B's got a ref till we meet up Thursday.
So we'll let you tell us about all the fun activities. So 150, Wyatt Krejcia, he's good, and he's just been dominating people this year. Mason Abbs, Western Boone, the Stars, and then you got Luke Toish from Huntington North, Christopher Bone. So 2 state qualifiers matching up right there. Krejcia is really good and just running rampant on Indiana wrestlers.
Man, I said it earlier, man. Like, just like Cook and Half said, man, it's like somebody kicked his dog, man. He wrestles ticked off and he's not even happy after he wins. Like, he might be more mad that the match is over and he can't just keep beating on the guy. He beat Zane Skinner, our kid, first round, and like the coaches said, they'd never had a more intense handshake after the match. Like hurry up, let me shake your hand so I can get the hell out of here. So I got business to do, and just sprints off the mat, man. Like, you see somebody that loses at NCAAs, he's gone. So, and yeah, he's the king of the weight class here. I feel like he impressed me that much Saturday.
Yeah, he's been really impressive all year. His 2 losses out of state. Congratulations to Mason Adams of Western Boone. I know we talked about it last week. First day qualifier from Western Boone since Jonathan Morales. Toich and Bone, that's going to be a good one. Hey, man, I'm excited that Christopher Bone Sr. is going to be able to go do a hot dog review at the – I mean, it might be a $20 hot dog. We're going to have to get a pizza slice with some, like, on Yelp, they have, like, the dollar signs. He wrestled really well Saturday. Real tough call in the finals at 150 with Harper. I think a lot of people didn't like that call. I know it was just a really good match. He has a high motor. He's gonna go at him. I think him and Krejcia could be a really fun match just because his like motor is so high. He's like not afraid to attack. I mean, I don't know if anyone's beating Krejcia. I would be willing to bet that's probably closest to one of the locks. But Christopher Bone's a really good, a fun guy to watch wrestle.
Yep. So next quarter bracket, Braden Getz, Ron Kelly, Alex Smith, Heritage Hills. 2 guys with brothers in the state finals. Captain Novacek and Jaden Jett. So some interesting guys here. This should be a good quarter bracket. Kind of a wide open one. You got 8, 9, 11, 19.
Hey, Joe, you know where Braden Getz's parents went to school at?
Probably, I'm going to guess Madison.
Do you know who Braden Getz's dad was teammates with in high school?
Dustin Bentz?
Yeah, Dustin Bentz. I can't say Triple B trained, but yeah.
Did you train his dad?
Huh?
Did you train his dad at least?
No, different weight, vastly different weight classes. So kudos to the Getz family, man. Like, it's awesome. They got 2 kids through with the Madison ties. That being said, since they took their kids out of Madison, I'm going with the 4/1. Alex Smith raised Getz Friday night. You should have kept your kids home, Getz. Kept them in Madison.
Oh, man. Man, that's a heel turn.
Man, that was.
I'm joking, Nick. I'm joking. Just joking, Nick. Just messing, buddy.
Man, that's like that Cody Rhodes swerve right there, man. You thought it was going to be Rock and Roman Reigns, huh? Yeah, I think Getz wrestled really well Saturday. Alex Smith had a really good summer. That'd be a good Friday night match. I don't know if I'm calling 4/1, but hey, man, they maybe Best knows those guys better than I do. I don't know if Jaden Jett got in the best names post. That's a pretty good name. I know he's been on the watch list for a long time. Kepner wrestled really well the whole year. I know he had a really good win at Mount Carmel. He wrestled really well he beat Caden Smith, who I was really impressed with the entire year from Plymouth. Weird match in the semis. Bone kind of just took him down and pinned him pretty quick, and then he came back in that 3rd and 4th place match and got a pretty quick fall. You talk about momentum. I mean, if you're coming off 38 and 32 can get a win, 26, you don't want to be the first guy to lose if all your guys are winning.
Yeah, that's that would be a real good one. Roncalli had a real good day Saturday too. That they kind of been overshadowed. They didn't win semi-state, but they had a really good day. Got a lot of guys there too. So
bunch, right?
Yeah.
They were saying they had a couple guys 4/1 come out.
Yeah. So look for them to continue that role there. And the last quarter bracket. This one will be fun. They wrestled at Al Smith, didn't they? Hagwood and Harper. Tyler Vanover at Mater Dei, and Carson Fettig from Hamilton Heights. So you have the token Mater Dei Hamilton Heights match, and that should be that's going to be a really kind of interesting quarter bracket.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty much there's a lot of toss up there. I mean, I really like Tyler Vanover. I thought he wrestled really well last year. Kind of ran into a tough semi-state draw, but Fettig,
yeah.
Fettig, yeah, he's wrestled really well this year. Obviously has 42 wins, 2 losses. That'll be a good Friday night match. And then Hagwood, Harper, did they hit each other at
5-3 per the IndianaMat, but 5-4 according to Smith. So that probably gave Hagwood another point for something, I'm sure.
Harper was pretty heated in his tick-around match. I think that was one, if you guys want to go back and watch, a guy get really upset at a coach. He wrestled really, really well. He's had a good career. I think he's a couple times semi-state runner-up. I know he was semi-state runner-up to Jesse one year. He's been to state a couple times. I think, but you guys know, man, I'm a Hagwood fan. I've been all the Hagwoods. So if I'm ever in, what is it? You call it Bushy Prairie?
Brushy Prairie.
Brushy Prairie. I hope the Hagwoods have my back.
Wolcottville, Stroh. It's a metropolis over there. I mean, yeah. So, last quarter bracket, Moses Stevenson, Franklin Central. I know we talked about him a lot, and kind of seeing what, and he's had some, tough matches, battle tested. He's going to be battle tested here. You got Hunter May, not of Mater Dei. He's a Floyd Central again. So he's.
You think those guys are going to give him a big cheer, though? You think they'll still have a little Hunter May? You were there at Evansville last week. Did they have some May on their heart?
So when Hunter won that tick-around match, the Mater Dei crowd erupted for him. So, yeah, he still has lots of love in the Mater Dei. And then I think him and Vanover, before the finals, when they did first and third, like they ran and kind of gave each other, a hug and high five before they each went and wrestled their 3rd and 1st place matches. So
you think he's going to wear a sports coat in there just for old time's sake or what?
Maybe in the face-offs, he'll wear for face-offs.
We wore tights.
If they wear tights there, that'd be great, man. If they wear tights,
they don't wear tights, and I about fell on my seat when I saw Schaefer not in old white ASIC Tigers, man, because that was their go-to back then. Like, if I'm Coach Schaefer, like, my kid's gonna wear old white ASIC Tigers just to rep the old Mater Dei days.
If you come out on Friday night, dude, you might just start turning around some of these pick'ems. Come out that old tights and the ASIC Tigers, the place will go nuts. You might blow the roof off that place.
Do it, man. Anybody there, man? We need the old scratchy maroon tights you guys used to wear and the white ASIC Tigers.
Oh, they didn't throw those things away.
No. All the old timers kept them. I guarantee those old timers that post on the board still have their tights from back in the day.
I mean, Yeah, even if it's just for like the medal rounds, man, you got to break those things out, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, this is the one time you might be at home. This is it. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That honestly, that'd be real cool. So, and then you got Aiden Elkins, surprise semi-state champ Chase Kasperzik from Lake Central. I'm just looking at all of these like 4-1s, and other than Mason, obviously Krejci's pretty good. Alex Smith's pretty good also. I mean, I know you jokingly said that, but Alex Smith's no slouch. That could be those 4-1 matches.
No, Smith.
Those are good.
Yeah, Smith and Getz will be a really, really, really good match. I mean, I was giving my boy Nick some crap there, but Smith is really good, intense. Lost in a tick round last year. Has had a chip on his shoulder, man. Just wrestles mean, man. Just he's got that All-American. Greco All-American?
Yeah, he's a Fargo Greco All-American 2022. 2022. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Get Smith will be a good first round match. And like you said, every 4-1 here, except for that first round, is going to be pretty good matches.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, yeah, you're thinking as a one, yeah, okay, now you don't want to put it on cruise control, but you're thinking you're sitting fairly well, and you're like, man, I almost would have bet, I mean, and I even said it Saturday, I was like, man, the 3 and 4 out of Fort Wayne were Hagwood and Toish, and I'm like, I think, those guys are not going to be easy outs there. They both aren't afraid to mix it up and go upper body, and they both have good motors. So it's going to be, like they're going to be tough outs there, no matter who they draw.
Yeah, I think it speaks to like the depth that the state's producing. It used to be we were really top heavy, but I think the state overall is becoming like very like overall very good. Like solid. There's a lot more solid guys that can, that it's a lot harder to pick medalists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your picks here? Are you going 1 and 2?
Yeah, A again.
I'm guessing that might be a 4 tough lock.
Yeah, I think that one too. Yeah.
So.
I don't know that Crusher gets the pin. I mean, May has to be not very happy with the way that match went and ended and everything last week, but Crusher's just so good. Yeah, he's a 4 tough lock. Maybe one of the few 4 tough locks at the state tournament, but
yeah, I think it's a couple. I mean, it's just such a good overall. Like, I think it's gonna be one of the better state finals over the last couple of years. Just there's not as many like that guy's a lock, but I think Krejci is probably as close to a lock as you can get. Mm-hmm. But man, I mean, there's some guys that are wrestling really good. Like, it'd be like, oh man, like Gavin Gendris is wrestling really good. We did talk about 120. We did, right? No, we did not.
No, we didn't do 20.
But you got a state champ in the line, and they're still like on the other side. And he's done well against them, but like, it's just Revin Dickman. Like, you would love to say Dickman's a lock, but like also like Rio's close with them. It just hasn't broke through. I mean, Lewis was close with them. Like, it just like I think it's gonna be a really good tournament.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we haven't had this year. We don't have the elite of elite guys, and we talked about this when we did the pound for pound. I go, we don't have a Jesse, we don't have a Christian Carroll, we don't have a some of those guys, Nick Lee, Michich. We don't have those guys that are that much better than everybody else, and so it's going to be interesting. There's no one, even Hockaday, who is pretty darn good. He doesn't have an easy semifinal match. He might not make it to the finals. That
might be the best. Like,
honestly,
that might be the best athletes he wrestled. Than like his so far in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Just pure like speed, strength. That might be the best kid he's wrestled overall. Like athletically, not technically. Like, I'm not gonna say like I don't know technically. I have to look back and look all of them. It could be. The Clarks. I mean, they were tight matches this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
like, Paul was in a tight final and Will was in a real tight semi. Colton Chacoin has jumped levels, man. He looked really good.
What were you getting ready to say there, Dustin?
No, I was just gonna say. Well, I mean, Mike kind of answered me. I was gonna say, if you were to have locks, would it be the Clarks and Crescia? But I mean, I'm scurrying through the brackets right now to it's just super competitive, like you guys said. I mean,
Yeah. Man, if you did a confidence pick'ems of like who your champ would be, Crejo's probably my number one.
Yeah, he's my 14. He's getting my 14 points.
Yeah. Oh, man, I would probably go. I would probably go some order of the Clarks and Dickman.
Yeah.
There.
I'd still go Jake.
Yeah, Jake is probably 5 or between 5 and 7 is kind of where I'd put him. 190. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what. I mean, the biggest one would be the probably number one would be 44. I think 44 would be my number one. 38. I would probably say right now I would be picking Shepard. I'd probably put him 6 or 7. He'd be in the top 7. I think.
I think Gendrous.
Gendrous also right there in the top 7. That one he might. I would maybe even put him over Hockaday really. Not that that makes me super confident there.
57, I think it's a toss up.
57, that would probably be that might be my 13th or 14th, where 1 point, I guess. 6, I would probably be a little bit later, but I like that pick. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun to do. I don't know. I'd have to figure out how to do that. 65, I guess 65. I think
you see Paul Maldonado Saturday morning estate, and he gives you a sheet of paper. You turn it in.
Okay. You got Costello there, Costello or Leach or whoever you want to pick at 75. I'll have to figure out a way to do that. That'd be kind of fun to do a confidence picks.
So. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, my guy Paul Maldonado runs one, man.
I know.
I never won it ever.
So
you gotta see X card on the board. We put up bananas or real cash if you have Cash App.
So, Dustin, what's your tips and tricks for Evansville? What's
All right, listen up. Thursday night, everybody's gonna be at Chaser's Bar and Grill for the IndianaMat live show. I was there Friday night. Me and Mrs. 3B went and checked it out. It's a nice bar. It's open. There's a stage right there we're going to be on. So that's everybody's going Thursday night. Friday, there's some bars. Those bars are going to be jam-packed, but there's a Brew Burger. There's a Tiki Bar that's right there around the stadium. Go out to Franklin Street. Out on Franklin Street, there's several places. Gerst House. There's a Chironi's Pizza that's like a mile from the stadium that we had Saturday night after wrestling. Plenty of good places, but Franklin Street, if you can get out there. And then we're going to do the finals pre-show at the Street Fest.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know where we are going to be exactly because they're blocking off 2 roads. So, and Dustin, he's volunteered to do the zip line. So.
I think I'm too big. No. I think I'm too big for the zip line, man.
Who ended up with the most votes?
I think Joe and Mike face to face got the most votes.
You're gonna have to wrap your legs around me. Let's get this out.
It wasn't a good vote. I think the election was rigged. So I think Mike has a lot of burner accounts on Facebook. That's all I gotta say. A lot of people I've never met before were all voting for somebody else.
I mean, Bustin Bentz and Dustin Bentz and Triple T and Triple B.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that'll be so it'll be fun.
If Nick was still here, Nick would do it, right? If Nick came down, he'd be the first one on there.
He'd be too short. He would be too short.
Oh man, we get a guy like that. There's a height limit.
Yeah.
You got to fit in a little basket, right?
A basket? What's this? A hot air balloon? I didn't know they put you in baskets. Jeez. So no, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna do we need to start a food post.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Or you just put an article and hopefully you get some kickbacks on this.
I mean, at least one free meal, right?
Yeah. We need to work some free meals into this. If we're bringing like millions of people to the Chasers, we need to get some free drinks or something. So
I have to message them tomorrow and see what we can get going.
Yeah. So if we get like
hopefully the fans the fans show us their love and buy us drinks. That's what I'm hoping. So.
Man, I feel like we'll have to have a 10-second delay on that one too.
That'd be a really good guerrilla radio. Let me tell you.
That'd be the pre-show right out in front. We won't be able to tape that one.
Yes. So, well, we're gonna get out of here. We will be back. Mike? What day's good for you? I can do Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, well, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm sure. I'll let you know for sure.
Okay. Just have your notifications. If you don't have your notifications on for our Facebook stuff, you're crazy. So we'll be back either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, whatever works for us. So we got 6 weights to go. So we got 8 down, so it won't be as long, but we're excited. I know Dustin is. So going to be a great weekend of wrestling. You get to hang out with us for an extra day because usually we don't get down till Friday. So extra night, and wrestling doesn't start to what? 1, 2-ish? Oh, yeah. As a heads up, I think everything was probably cleared up. But I know some coaches sent me a message that wrestling starts at 2. So we got plenty of time to recover from Thursday night to start. Yeah. So coaches said that the stuff was sent out that was wrong. So I think we got that corrected. Thanks to Brandon Taylor. He's like the tournament director. And he's a former wrestling coach and stuff, so he knows what's going on. Yeah, so he did. I emailed him. I go, hey, coaches are emailing me this. He's like, no, you got the right schedule, so that's good.
I'll tell you this: be prepared. The longest line I've ever seen in the semi-state was this past Saturday. It was wrapped all the way around the building. It was the craziest, and I don't know why. I heard because they were cash free this year, and a lot of people weren't prepared for that. I know we'll have the tickets in advance, so that should help. But, man, just get there early, be ready, or else if you get caught in that long line, I don't know what the issue was last weekend, but it was a terribly long line. Luckily, as luck would have it, some dude just opened the door, and me and my wife walked in some random side door and started saying we're with the media till we ended up on the floor getting yelled at by the AD because we weren't in the right spot. But we're in the building, and we ended up getting our media passes. But
nice.
Yeah, just get there early, man. Get there early. Hopefully, like I said, with the everybody having their tickets bought, it flies quicker than last weekend. But, yeah, the longest line I'd ever seen was at semi-state last Saturday.
Yeah. Hopefully they have it. I mean, they know that semi-state gets quite a few people. There's no question. But I guarantee hopefully they're ready for 9,500 people to be coming in. And I know
that place is going to be packed, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be packed to the
gills. It's going to be packed. It's going to be, it's going to be loud. I mean, it's because it's going to be a smaller arena. It's going to get louder, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of like, when Penn State wrestles in their arena, it's packed and it gets loud, and that affects things. So it's kind of cool. So the weather.
Butler, last weather forecast I saw was high in the low 40s. Low in the mid 30s. That was the last weather forecast I saw for Evansville.
Yes, it's supposed to be 55 on Thursday, 44 on Friday. Ooh, it says 36 on Saturday. Ooh.
Nice for the Street Fest.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's gonna be chilly.
But jacket.
I'm gonna need some zip away pants or the cargo pants where you zip away your shorts or you zip your pants.
Nice. So, but okay, we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back and finish up the rest of the weights. Have a good Tuesday, and we'll see you later.
See you, Chasers.